We are what? Live. Hey, hey,
Layla.
hey. Hey, we're gonna wait till everybody comes in. Well, they're gonna be coming in and out.
In and out, in and out.
In and
Come on
out.
in while I take a sip, darling.
See, I'm not
In and out.
in and
Come on
out.
in while I take a sip, darling.
Yes.
See,
Oh
I'm not
no.
in and out.
Oh, okay. It must
Come
be
on in while I
on
take a
Facebook.
sip, darling.
Oh
I'm not
no.
in and out.
Yes. Let me turn. You're here. You're here. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you
Hello.
hear me? Yes. Hi, Matt. Hi, Jim. Hi. Patrick. Me and Kenny were like, we need to have Patrick on the
Hi,
show.
Jim. Hi.
Okay. I am like all over. Let me see. All right. Here we go. Hi, Dr. Jackson.
Hey, Tiff.
Hey,
Do-
Tiff.
Doutora.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Are we up on Facebook?
Hey,
They,
Brenda.
hi, Brenda. Yeah, so fun you're doing. I called Kenny. I think I texted you like last week,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, let's go live on New Year's. Let's do hot topics.
Do the topics.
Yes, I know we haven't been doing our shows because life is lifing. Life had gotten back to pre-pandemic, before pandemic, and the folks are working and doing all kinds of stuff. And I know y'all miss us. We miss y'all.
We really do, but I have to say I have had a little bit of PTSD.
For real.
Yes, getting ready for tonight. It was just like I forgot how stressful it was, like getting my, the lighting right and making sure the internet is working and the stream is working and child, it was a lot.
It was a lot. And inviting people, and like people are out doing their thing. Yes, we saw that, Patrick. Thank you. It will be on for a couple hours, so I'm sure the kids will be in and out. Listen, it was PTSD, like even thinking about who to invite, like what to talk about, like what to I don't know. This year was was insane.
Yeah, I sort of feel like it was 2 years worth of stuff crammed into 1 year.
For sure. For sure. Well, before we go into that, I am not feeling well today. I have not been feeling well for about a week and a half. So I am not drinking. And y'all know the Convos is the place that we sip and we drink. But tonight I am having some liquid IV until midnight when I have my champagne for sure. So what you sipping on, Kenny?
This is the 1800 tequila peach margarita. She's cute down. Cute down.
Mm,
I'm gonna try and take it easy because she'll sneak up on you. I
right.
bought the peach, the watermelon, the mango, and the spicy.
Oh, oh, uh-oh. That's a Ken. What, Happy New Year, Miss Aprile Milo. Happy New Year.
Aprile.
God bless you too. Now, Miss Aprile Milo was our special guest this year in our first annual Black Leadership Arts Collective Masterclass. You want to talk a little bit about that, Ken?
Yes. So as you know, may know, or should know by now, that Karen and myself and Russell Thomas, Lawrence Brownlee, Nicole Heaston, Laquita Mitchell, uh, Kevin Short, and Morris Robinson have formed um, a wonderful organization, which is now officially 501c3, registered with the federal government,
Woo!
official non-for-profit organization. Yes, yes, yes. Just in
Yes.
time for the new year. We're so very excited. Um, so we're just in the beginnings of trying to flush out what it means to uh, be what the industry is slow to act upon, and using all of our powers and influence to the best of our abilities to help artists of color, particularly Black singers, in mentorship, in fundraising, and all of the above. And we just felt like we need to put our money where our mouths are and really go out there and use our voices for good. And so we hope that you will go and support the Black Leadership Arts Collective in any way that you can, showing up for us, being in the room with us, your financial gifts, however small or large, are all welcomed. And let us know if there are certain things that you would like to see the organization do as well. We are so open to just growing and providing what is most needed. So join us.
Yes, join us. Yes, it's going to be a big year in 2024. Is there a link to make a tax deductible donation before the end of the year? Yes, there is. How do we get that, Kenny?
Mm, I think we will put the what you call it, the
The link,
barcode thing
the
in
barcode.
the chat. We'll get to it. Keep a lookout for it, and we'll also put it on both of our individual Facebook pages before the night is over. So
Yes.
keep watch for that.
Yes, and we have swag too. Swag coming in 24. Kenny, he took the reins and said we have to get our swag act together. So we all have fantastic coffee cups and other swag coming. So definitely support, and it'll all go back into our amazing organization. The QR code, QR code.
Yes, QR code. I ain't been sipping that much. I should have been able to call upon that faster.
Yes, the QR code. We will put that in. Hey, hi, Naquanda. I forgot to put Naquanda's. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Naquanda, we're so proud of you, the High Art Foundation. You're doing such wonderful work.
Yes, 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 yes. And thank you, Michelle Travato. I'm hoping to feel better. I need to feel better literally like tomorrow, or the next day. But yes, please send prayers up for me. Oh, how about some black? Listen, I'm still waiting for my hoodie, okay? Because we have a big project coming up in 2024, and I still have not gotten my hoodie yet. So we'll have some too. We'll have our own hoodies.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
have our hoodies and make sure that everybody can get them, because I've been asking Sean O'Pueblo for mine, and it's been I haven't had any response. Sean, so if you're out there, Damien.
But Sean said he might he's on vacation, but he said he might click on. So when he comes on, we will make sure to wrangle him up and say where is our swag, right?
Right.
Hey, Kevin. Congratulations, Maestro. Kevin Fitzgerald this year won, I think, the Contemporary Music Prize for conducting at the Mahler competition. Put it in the chat, Kevin, and let us know. We have to cheer you on. Yes, I remember you were rehearsing for that and talking about that, and we were sending big prayers out, but that is a huge thing. So make sure you put exactly what it is you want in the chat, so that we can big you up. We love
Amazing.
you.
Congratulations.
Yes. Hey, Queen, how you feeling? Laquita wasn't feeling well herself, so she's late. No, you're not late. You know we're gonna be on here for a minute, so
I was
you
thinking about you earlier, Laquita, when I put my collard greens in the crock pot, girl.
okay? Who made that collard greens and that black eyed peas?
I didn't do the black eyed peas. I did do the collard greens, and I put some macaroni and cheese in the oven earlier.
Oh, See, I haven't done anything. Yes, Kevin. Yes, Kevin said that was correct. It was yes. It was the prize for contemporary music at the Mahler competition. So he's going to put that information on there. That's a fantastic. Yes, we love you, Patrick. Hey, Nick, my
Nick
baby.
Newton, Nick Newton.
Yes, yes. Look out for this gentleman, honey, because this throat right here,
The
the baby.
voice be voicing. We are so proud of you, Nick, and all the wonderful things that you're doing. Please keep pushing and know that you have so much support behind you. We're so proud of you.
Yes, we are so proud of you. Yes, yes. Oh, peas still so you know they're gonna be good. The peas are still soaking. Nick said the peas are still soaking. What you making? Black eyes? Yes. Oh, Kevin said it's a special prize for the best performance of the contemporary piece at the 2023 Mahler competition. Yes,
And you
Kevin.
know, Mahler is my man, baby. Mahler is my man. He is my
Yes.
favorite leader composer. I would
Mhm.
sing his music forever and ever. I love Mahler.
Oh yes, that's right. He gives love to the baritones and the mezzo's. Yes. What
Yeah.
was the work? What was Jim asked? What was the work, Kevin? That you conducted. And Patrick said chicken wings, whack our peas. Come on.
Come on, Patrick.
Come on. Come on. We love it. We love it. So y'all listen, we have a couple of guests coming very shortly. But I just wanted to like get this started. This because there was so many things. Oh, okay. So he put in the chat, you can watch the premiere. Okay, so there is a link to the premiere performance, so Kevin's performance. Please go out and watch that, share, and support Kevin. He is one of my Facebook friends or my Instagram buddies. And I can't wait to work with you. Yes, I can't wait to work with you. I can't wait to support you in the concert hall. Love y'all. Keep doing what y'all doing. One day,
Yes,
yeah.
Kevin. We should do songs of a Wayfarer, you and I. Let's go. Let's go with the Mahler.
You hear that, Kevin? Pressure, pressure, pressure.
Or some Rukich
Yes,
leader, the Rukich leader. Let's do it. Let's do it.
yes. Next time y'all come to DC, we need to have a soiree. Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, next year for sure. So, what was okay? How do you even start? There was so many things that happened in 2023. I mean, do you start like pop music, theater, classical? Like, do you start at the top of the year? Do you work your way back? Verdi Requiem, say no more.
Done.
Say no more. Maybe not tomorrow, okay, because the throat is busted, but say no more. Yes. Where do you even start with?
Ooh. I mean, it's like I said, it's like 2 years worth of stuff in 1 year. So you could literally just reach your hand in a hat and pick something out, right? Like,
Yes. Okay,
so
you
for,
start 2023 with Janai Brooker. I did not see Janai, but I heard she slayed. He said, but
I
Ben,
saw it. I went to St. Louis to see it. She was incredible. She was so beautiful, so fantastic. And Freddie Valentine also was fantastic in that production, directed by Pat Rosette, I might add. But it was a beautiful production.
fantastic. I was sad that I didn't get a chance to see it. And Freddie is now at the Met doing Remendado at Carmen, I think, in Carmen tonight, right? I think
Yes.
so. Shout out to Freddie. Freddie lives in Berlin most of the year, so we don't get to see him. But shout out to him and both Janai. Happy New Year. Yes, she was wonderful.
Yeah. And she just finished her last Pamina, I think, last night.
Okay,
She was
listen.
doing the Julie Taymor Die Zauberflöte at the Met. So she's been a
Fabulous.
busy girl.
We love to see you. Peter Gelb is
Yeah.
hiring the kids, honey. He hiring the kids.
And she
Okay.
was also in Intelligence with Nick Newton, y'all. And you
That
saw that, right, Karen?
I sure did see that. That was the world premiere of the new J.K. Jean Shear opera titled Intelligence with Janai Brugger starring her, Janae Bridges, and none other than Jamie Barton. and Mike Mays and Caitlin Lynch. It was a phenomenal. And I was talking about it yesterday because there are so many arias that will come from that opera, and it's basically is a. I mean, go look it up. I don't want to waste time telling you all of the scoop on the opera, but I said it needed. I think it made the case to bring back Margaret Garner, as if not if Margaret Garner needed a case, but it the subject matter is sort of similar, and I think that we need to see that piece again. I hope
Yeah,
somebody produces it in the next couple of years.
it's a fantastic piece, and I have a special place in my heart for Richard Daniel Porter. I just think he's a phenomenal composer. Um, yeah, and we've done some
Oh,
great things together. We love Richard.
yeah. Oh, somebody won a Grammy. Did you win a Grammy? Oh, a Grammy. Was it last
It was
year?
2021.
2021, singing Yeshua,
Yeah,
a
it's
piece that Mr. Daniel
and
Moore
you know
wrote.
what? You know what? It's been a little crazy since then because there's sort of this pressure where no matter what job I go to, it gets mentioned. And that's fine. It should get mentioned. My agents have it in my bio. It's towards the top. People know about it. But there's this pressure that you always sort of have to live up to that award, to that moment. People say
Mm.
Grammy award winning, da, 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 da. And sometimes I just want to be Kenny and just go in and sing and mind my business, get my check and go home. But there's so much that comes along with it. It's a great responsibility, an amazing honor. And it also it sort of forces me to challenge myself to do better and not rest on it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, there's so much more to do. You've been in this business a very long time and striving every year, getting better and bigger and all the kind of things. So, listen, let it come. Yes, I am all those things and more. No pressure, because you know how to do it. You're not a kid. Yes, if you
Right.
want to hear Mother Toni Morrison's words sung, listen, I got a chance to do that piece in Detroit the second time they did it. I did the role that Angela Brown created, Scylla, who is the mother-in-law of Margaret, and this piece is based off of the book, the Toni Morrison book, Beloved. I think is that the book, I think. And Miss Denise Graves was the Margaret. She was the original Margaret, and Heavy is the Crown. You're absolutely right in it. And just to, I don't know if Denise would do it again. I mean, there's 15 new mezzos that would sing that part brilliantly. But I just think that text, that story
Yeah.
doesn't need to get lost. And intelligence, like I said, is a same period, but it is important. I think that we already have things. Everything doesn't have to be brand new, sparkly new, race to the finish line to produce it, when there's so many things that have already been done very successfully. And I think that companies need to just dig deeper into the crate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thanks, Tiff. You know I love you. I didn't pay her to say that, but I love you.
Well, y'all go way back, way, way, way back. Yes,
Way
yes.
back. And on the tail of new operas, I had the incredible pleasure to do Rhiannon Giddens' Omar,
Which won the
uh,
Pulitzer this year?
which won the Pulitzer Prize for Music. She and Michael Abels wrote a beautiful score and premiered by our sister friend and Black founding member Laquita Mitchell at
Yes.
the Spoleto Festival. Um, it's a beautiful piece, and we had a blast doing it in San Francisco. 6 sold out performances, and with Jamez McCorkle and Brittany Robinson and Barry Banks, and it
Mm.
was just a fabulous cast. Brianna Delwell and Taylor Raven. Beautiful, beautiful piece, and I hope that it has more legs and gets to come to more places around the world. Actually, not just in America.
Yes.
Such an incredible, incredible piece.
Yes, I saw that in San Francisco. I saw you. I think I love going to War Memorial. That's where I did my young artist at the opera there. So I know that hall well. And it was the first time that I had been a part of an evening of opera in that house that was so electric
Mm,
after, like, at the end. And I've seen many things there, but this was very different, and very different for that company, because they don't do works like that. They don't have a history of doing new works that are focused and centered on this that subject matter that is that diverse. And so I think for that audience, which is a very diverse community, the Bay Area deserves more representation like that on the stage. But there was a woman at the end of that night, because I always like to, like, I don't rush out into the theater at the end. I like to wait until it like clears out just to see who's there. And there was a woman sitting in the hall just in the middle of the theater. She had no words. She was so overwhelmed and overcome with emotion that she couldn't move. And I just kept
wow.
watching her. I kept watching her. I'm slow walking out of the theater just to see. And I'm like, that woman was transformed. That is our audience. I don't know if she's a new opera goer or a consistent opera goer or what her background is, but like, we need that. That is the thing that brings us all to this art form. So yeah,
Yeah.
we need that.
Our other sister, Melody Wilson, is here. Hey, Melody.
Oh, hi in
And
Hamburg.
yeah, so I went to my I've been a very, very lazy man this last week in between Jesus's birth and right now I really didn't do much of nothing. But I went down and checked my mail, and in my mailbox was my Opera America magazine. And is that Sister Melody on the cover? Is she
That's
a
your
cover girl? Is she
cover
giving us
girl.
cover girl?
Yes, ma'am. Look at you looking like the second coming of Grace Bumbry, La Brum, and rest in peace, La Bumbry. But
Yes,
yes,
indeed. Oh my God. I was so excited to hear that. I can't wait to read the article. So proud of you, sister.
and with that was from Seattle's Das Rheingold, was it? Were you playing Fricka? I think I got that right. Hey, Jolie. Yes.
Hey, Jolie.
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
Police today, darling. I love you.
Yes, congratulations, Melody. So again, we that she was stunning, and her voice is like chocolate dipped in gold. Like
Yes.
it's we want to hear more of Miss Melody.
You just want
Um,
to lather it up.
okay, hey, greetings from the she's in Bean. So you
Oh
already
my
had
God.
your years
So it's
already.
what, three? Is it 4 o'clock in the morning, girl? 3 o'clock in the morning? What you doing up?
Hello for us. She had to come hear us. Yes. All
I
right.
love it. So,
I
what else,
know.
operatically speaking, were you excited about in 23?
Operatically speaking, I
For
mean, so much. I got to see a lot of things this year, of course, because y'all know I'll be showing up to stuff. Hey, Brian, we were supposed to talk last week, and then we were supposed to have dinner. What happened, Brian?
Brian,
Yes, Fricka and Rheingold. Okay, let's see. I saw Intelligence. I saw Omar. I saw oh my gosh, I'm just stirring a blank right now. Oh, I saw Janae and New York Phil. I saw um
and
earlier in the year.
we both saw Florencia in El Amazonas.
I didn't see Florencia.
Oh, you
I'm gonna
didn't?
see. I couldn't see it because I was working, so I couldn't see it. And I
Ah,
really wanted to see it, but I'm gonna see it in the movies. And I didn't see X this year. But I was like, I know the kids sang. I know they sang, and I remember talking to Anthony pre the Met taking X for combos in 2020, and we were talking about it. And then not too far after that, the Met came a knocking. And there you go. Not saying that I had anything to do with it, but just saying like that was, I say again, I like Amistad. I hope the Met takes Amistad.
Amistad is my favorite piece of his. I think
Mine
it's,
too.
oh,
Mine too.
it's so brilliant. That
the
original
role.
cast with Priscilla Baskerville and Florence Quivar, outrageous, outrageous.
Outrageous, outrageous. Yeah. So I hope that not just the Met and some other places produce it. You saw Carmen in Chicago. Yes, I did see Yenufa in Chicago, and I saw Miss Lisette Orpesa and Larry Brownlee tear the house down in Chicago the night before Yenufa. I really wanted to see Liz Davidson, but she was not well, and so she had to cancel. So I got to see another young singer. And please put in the chat if you know what her name was. She was wonderful. I think she's in the Chicago program, and she got to step in. So that's always exciting. And look who the superstar is. Key. Hey
Hey,
Key. Yes, Factotum. That was
oh,
another
saw that
breakout
and loved it.
news. Absolutely.
I'm so
Absolutely.
proud of Will Liverman. He has really taken the industry by storm and not only composing his own things, but curating his own things and is just, I'm so proud. And his Grammy win for Fire Shut Up in My Bones. Um,
Yes.
just huge congratulations to him. He's just a beast of a singer and musician and all around incredible artist. I just love Will.
Absolutely. He's just tremendous, tremendous artist, tremendous colleague, tremendous human. I have to
Yep.
say, I actually, we shared the stage together quite a lot this year between Songs in Flight, Sean's piece with Rhiannon, and we did the Jasmine Barnes's piece, the Songs of Paul to celebrate Paul Robeson's birthday this year. And we did something else. Oh, we did Fire at Portland Opera. We did the chamber part of Fire. So I got to spend a lot of time with him on the stage and off. And he's just he's solid. He's solid. A solid brother. So yes, Catherine Henry. Yes, she was beautiful. She was beautiful, and I wasn't disappointed to hear her. I really was really excited to hear her, but I wanted to hear what all of the excitement is about Liz Davidson's voice, because I had not heard her at the Met, and everybody is saying like this is the next great dramatic, soprano, and then she's at the beginning of her career, so we will get to hear her many years of her singing. So I just want to know, I don't want to say hype, but I want to hear the throat, honey. I want to hear the throat.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yes. Let's see. Patrick said Larry's Magic Flute.
I
Oh, I
saw
was
that too. That was really good. The production was really interesting. And people were polarized by it. Like either they really liked it or they didn't like it at all. I enjoyed it so much. I do think we don't need two productions of the Magic Flute at the same time, but that's another story. But this new production with Larry and Aaron was so clever and so enchanting. And what's her name? Maestra Natalie. Yes,
Stutzman.
she
Yes.
conducted it. And it was wonderful. The orchestra was sort of raised up almost to stage level, and there was beautiful puppetry and gorgeous writing. And the flautist from the orchestra was actually a part of the piece, a part of the action, which was so clever, so well done, so well done.
Fabulous. We love it. We love it. I haven't seen it. That's the thing, is I live in Philly, and I'm always oh yes, Justin. We're talking about Justin's Kennedy Center, his Marian Anderson Award. We have known Justin since he was this big. This
He's
big.
my baby. He's my baby. I've
Yes,
known
and
him since he was
yes,
7.
this big. And I hate that, like, I'm even that age where I can say that, because I used to hate when my parents was their friends just, oh, I remember you when you were like, whatever. But like, we really do remember Justin, because we know his whole family. He comes from a singing family, and I got to sing Serena to his dad's Robbins, and my debut as Serena, and his mom was the Mariah. Oh my God. So we are just so proud. I know he is a brilliant artist for the 21st century, right?
Brilliant.
He's such a next gen but throwback at the same time, because he's been immersed in it his whole life.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
incredible DNA to have both parents be incredible singers and to be born on to practically on a stage, like from the beginning of his life until now. And I got a chance to go to DC to hear him do um, Damian Jeter's Cotton with Denise Graves.
Hmm. Another
Incredible
thing. Yeah.
piece. And folks, if you haven't seen it, it's coming to New York City at the 92nd Street Y in April under the auspices of Lyric Fest. Go see this piece. It's fantastic. Denise and Justin and Laura Ward are absolutely exquisite. The poets are absolutely powerful and exquisite. The visuals, they're giving visuals and
Yes.
wonderful. Go see this piece. Put it on your calendar. Go to Lyric Fest and find out when the exact date is in April, and go and support Justin, Denise, and Laura and Damien in Cotton.
Yes, you have to. I saw the premiere in Philadelphia. Lyric Fest is a art song organization, 20 years old, based out of Philadelphia. Laura Ward and Suzanne Duplantis created this amazing piece long before this amazing organization, well before these things became popular. So they have been doing tremendous work for many, many years. And Cotton, Damian Jeter, yes. So Damian Jeter is the composer of Cotton, and Damian, of course, is my brother, but he wrote a magnificent piece. He took all these different poems from all these different poets and wrote a piece, a song cycle for mezzo and baritone, all based off of Cotton. They're actually, I think they were pictures,
Yes.
pictures of Cotton, and yes, there's a whole history. But please go look it up. Please go look it up. And of course, Damien's new opera, his next opera, which is getting expanded by Des Moines, premieres this summer. So the second iteration of American Apollo, starring Justin and
And Mary Dunleavy.
Mary Dunleavy, and Bill Burton are in that cast. It is going to be a thing to see. So hopefully it gets more life beyond Des Moines this summer. So yes, please go check that out too. Yes, Cotton is amazing. We are so proud of Damien and Denise always, and Justin, of course. So
And
go
is
ahead, Ken.
Brother Brian Major still out there? If you are, thank you for loaning me your wife. We are going to be doing a recital together with Lyric Fest as well in Philadelphia. So if y'all are in Philadelphia, Valentine's Day, we're doing two recitals together, me and Michelle Johnson Major, who is a vocal force beast.
Yes,
And
my
I
sister.
love that woman. And so I'm so excited to share the stage with her and sing all about love. And hopefully her husband won't jump up and beat me up for doing that. I love you, Brian.
Yes, we love you, Brian. That's a singing person too,
Yes,
man.
he is.
Yes, that's Damien's next opera, which premieres next year. Loving versus Virginia. Yes, it's fabulous, fabulous. HBO, yes, Reggie and Miss Nicole Houston in Falstaff. That was another big one this year.
And speaking of Reggie, congratulations. He just got married
Yes,
yesterday, he and Greg. I'm so, so happy for them. They got married in Houston at this gorgeous, lavish, fabulous wedding. So
yes,
proud of them and happy for he and Greg. That's amazing.
yes. Bumped your man. Oh, okay. Sorry, that's what our guest is coming in.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Let me. Yeah. So anyway, what I want to talk about? Yes, Black Love. Yes, Reggie, we love you. I'm mad I didn't get an invitation.
See, I'm glad you said it, not me, because I thought it. I was like, where was my invitation, Reggie?
Okay, where was it?
Where was it?
Where was it? So what did you like? What? Okay, so you saw Renaissance.
Baby, twice.
Yes.
I did. Listen,
Yeah.
she is such a polarizing figure. And again, so many people either really, really like and love her or really, really don't. I don't understand the don't, but I'm gonna let y'all live anyway. But Renaissance for me and Beyonce's whole whole platform, whole aura, whole energy has just been something incredible for 2023. And in 2023, her breaking the record for having the most Grammys of any living human being in the history of life. I mean, come on, what a powerful woman, a powerful Black woman, a powerful wife, a powerful mother, a powerful mogul. Like she just did the whole thing. So I flew myself to Toronto because Toronto was the first stop on the North American tour. So I had to see her before anybody else in America saw her. So I flew to Toronto, got my seats in Club Renaissance, and she performed for just shy of 3 hours nonstop. It was incredible. The costumes, the voice was voicing, the microphone was on the whole time. She gave high notes and chest notes, and she was rapping, and she was in gowns, and she was doing the thing. Amazing dancers, and the visuals were incredible. I enjoyed it so much. It was worth every dime, every moment, and I can't wait to see what she does next.
Yes. I mean, people were like, oh, because I saw it twice. I saw it in Amsterdam, then I saw it in Boston. And people were like, oh, people paid all that money to go and then record, and then go to the movie to see yourself. And I'm like, haters, the woman is everything. Everything. She stood on that stage and sang and danced and pop locked and dropped it and all the things for 2.5 hours. And I saw her on both continents. And let me tell you, you don't have to be a Beyonce fan, but what she did with that piece was tremendous. And it was, I mean, I got to see Michael Jackson live. I got to see, I grew up in a house where my parents went to live theater, live music. I grew up on R&B and soul music, and I've gotten to see a lot of great artists. She's right up there with the Earth, Wind and Fires and the Shaka Khans and like all those people. Y'all can hate on me all you want, but she's that girl. And Miss Taylor Swift. Now I'm not a Swiftie. I'm not an that's not mine.
It's not my lane. I could not sing one lick of a Taylor Swift song if you had a gun to my head. But big ups to her and her platform and being the mogul that she is and doing the great work that she's doing, both on stage and off, right? When she told the folks, the young people, to go register to vote, it literally broke the system down because so many went just because she said to do it, right? And she and Beyonce both went above and beyond and paid and overpaid their crew and their truck drivers. And Beyonce kept the train system open in DC because the rain had delayed the show and the trains were going to stop running. And she said, no, here's the money to pay all those folks overtime to keep it open so that everybody can get home. And she and Taylor both are just incredible women doing incredible things. And we do live in a world where you're allowed to like them both.
Yes. Yes, I didn't understand the whole competition between the Swifties and the Beehive. I mean, I get it. Everyone loves their queen. You're not a gun. That's funny, Patrick. But like again, I mean, she was Woman of the Year or Artist of the Year. Taylor Swift. She broke records. She goes Time. I think Person of the Year. I think she made $1 billion off that. And let's talk about that. The idea that after COVID, right after all of these losses, all these things like that, people listen. We both four concerts between the both of us, right? That we went to see Beyonce, that we spent our hard-earned dollars, but like that this was a year of live performance. This was the year. I mean, I went and did my research on like classical music, and I was like, it's just too much to even post, to even talk about. And then with pop music and all of the even the live bands, jazz, and I don't, I wonder how classical music, how we can get into those numbers, right? Get into that rung of making the big dollars.
Yeah, it's a big question. I have a lot of thoughts on it. But
Speak on it. Come on, speak on it.
I guess that is a segue into um, like what's really going on in the industry? Like, do you all in the chat, like, do you, those of you who are a part of the classical music world, do you see or feel any sort of structural change from the pandemic to now? Um, I mean, I know Karen and I talk all the time, so we sort of know where each other, you know, stands on certain things. But I would love to see and hear from you all with what you think. Are these producing organizations living up to the promises, living up to the advocacy, living up to the Black squares, living up to diversity, equity, inclusion? What do you see? What do you feel?
Yeah. I mean, for me, somebody said back to the same foolishness. You know, you're not gonna make me laugh, Patrick. You know, and Patrick, you can, even talk about this, but like, it's tricky, right? It's tricky. It's tricky because you see the thing happening, you see it, and you see it being executed, but those of us who know what we're watching know that that's not it. That's not all the way it. And when you're in it and you're benefiting from it as an artist, as an organization, whatever, you're like, yeah, it's happening. Yes, it's things are happening. But you go, ooh, not quite. Yes, Laquita said the fees are still way low. Yes, fees are still way low. And I think some of that is not COVID's fault. And I think some people like to, for whatever. But some of the fees were low before, right? Before COVID. There's that.
That's interesting. You know, Laquita said the fees are too low, and then right after Jolie said, yes, she does see change because she sees more artists of color on stage. And it's interesting, you see more artists of color on stage, but are they being paid equitably? Are they being showcased in things that require them to be something other than the color of their skin?
Mm-hmm.
These are the questions, these are the problems, and I just
Yes.
want to, I want to ask the industry, how much longer, how much more time do you need to do what's right, what's fair,
Right.
what's equitable? How much more time do you need, right?
And
Give
this
me-
is an interesting intro and point in our conversation. I want to introduce the Roro the tenor. If you don't know, yeah, if you don't know this, listen, right on time. Listen, I'm not going to talk about you. I'm going to let you talk briefly about yourself. But if you don't know Roro is a force. Roro is not only a consummate artist, a brilliant performer. He is one of us. He's been on the scene, hustling, grinding, doing the thing,
Oh,
but is also a personality and someone I think that this industry needs to push forward to represent this industry in other spaces, right? Everyone likes to talk about, oh, why can't we be seen as this? And, why we are just as relevant and cool and all the things as other art forms, but y'all don't always put the people on the front that can really be effective on this side. So I wanted to bring Roro on this day, on this last day of 2023, honey, on this program. Roro, welcome.
hello.
Tell us about yourself a little bit.
Well, what should I tell about myself? So, oh yeah, so like a background. So I am originally from the Philippines. I'm 48 years old now, and it's like with our like, it's like we brag about how old we are. We don't
Because
hide
your
it.
face is still facing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm 48 years old, but I came to the US when I was 16 years old in LA and then lived there for less than 15 years. And then I moved to Chicago. But yeah, I live in Chicago now. Did the program there, the lyric opera program. During that time, it was named differently. But yeah, I live in Chicago now. Currently, I'm in Houston. Yeah, and I love I've been singing since I was 12, but I've been singing like pop music. You know, in the Philippines, you know, we rule karaoke. Filipinos rule karaoke everywhere you go. Okay, that's just how it is. I think, but one of the things is because we like to mimic. We like to mimic. It's not copy. It's a copy is different from mimic. Mimic is like, which is weird because mimic is like we want to in a way copy the style, and we may sound like the original, but if you really listen we don't sound like original, but every nuance we have to copy so that whoever is listening is still getting the exact same effect. And that's what Filipinos are known for. So
Yes.
I was a pop singer growing up, and it wasn't until I came to the US when long story short, that I got introduced to opera. And that's one of the things you were talking about, putting, if I stayed in musical theater, the first, I don't know how I would have turned out, but I would have stayed in ensemble.
Mm.
But see, it's how it weird, but because my voice is so different and different timbre, different quality, and different size, that someone discovered me to do opera, and believe it or not, even though I am mostly doing supporting roles, with all due respect to our fellow choristers, I was not just singing chorus, but I was singing principal roles. But if I said in musical theater, because of exactly, I don't have the what is that, the looks, the Hollywood looks to become a lead. During that time, I'm still studying, but because of this, so opera is very important to me. And when you said something about breaking everything, it's like, I, even though I'm an opera singer, I still sing karaoke, I still sing, I still learn. I don't limit myself to what I do for work. I just, some people ask me, it's like, oh yeah, you do, yeah, because I love pop music. I love soul pop. I wish I can sing R&B. I mean, I could. Me singing R&B is like, I mean, it sounds like, it's a little bit like, yeah, it kind of sounds like it, but it doesn't sound as authentic. But R&B is not easy. And jazz, actually jazz, I don't sing jazz. I could try to, but it just sounds like I'm trying to copy. But when it comes to, pop music, I mean, we're talking about old school. Filipinos love George Benson, Jeffrey Osborne,
Yes.
Hey.
and then the latest one, at least my generation, Brian McKnight is the latest generation, but we love that, and of course Whitney Houston and all the souls like in the 70s and 60s. But
yes,
yeah, I love that, and I keep doing that because I want to be aware of all kinds of music. So.
Absolutely. You got some love in here, Naquan. Listen, so my best friend is Filipina, is Margarita Gomez, and we won the puntal competition many, 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 many years ago. That's how we know each other. And I've been to the Philippines, and I'm like honorary, It's like my best friend's Black, my best friend's Filipino. I mean, I didn't want to, what I mean, but it's the truth, right? So, I'm very familiar with the culture. I'm very familiar with all that. But and how the Philippines is like the king. They are the king of the karaoke. And I've been to some bars in Manila, where I got to see that. But I want to talk about your experience in opera. So we were just talking about if the work is actually happening, right? And I know that you are a part of Asian Opera Alliance. You are very active in AGMA,
yes,
which I want you to talk about too. And also, do you see, what is from your experience, how do you think the industry is moving forward?
It's hard to say. We were talking about representation, and want to make sure that we're not stuck in just one aspect of we don't want Asian sopranos to just be stuck in Mozart roles or Handel, for them to be able to look, because even though a lot of people or a lot of companies are trying to justify oh no, we this and that, they really just focus on the looks, because I'm going to be blunt here, because of very specific generalized features that they see in us. They don't see us as dramatic. They only see us as, oh, that's why it's Mozart, Handel, classic. And we're trying to, still do our best to go beyond that. Personally, for me, I've said this wrote about this in the Asian Opera Alliance. I'm one of the few Asian tenors or Asian singers that are cast in not normally Asian roles. Like I can count the number of times I've done Goro. See, I've done mostly Monostatos and I've done other stuff, but I was not. It's like, unfortunately, I was not stuck in the Goro line. But I know a lot of colleagues who are, because that's how the only thing how they see that. And I think it's you would think at these times it would be more open and more diverse, but I think in some way it was slightly diverse back in the day, at least in the supporting role category, where they're just going to base it on the voice. At least I'm talking about supporting role, not the leading role, because the leading role category is all about what they see. But since the focus of most companies are the face is the leads, who's going to sell tickets, the supporting roles are secondary in terms of like, we want to make sure that we just cast them. Back in the day, in my opinion, people were cast diversely more. And now it's hard to say sometimes, like, well, you have to be, color appropriate, but then it does that. Now, okay, we're going to cast mostly Asians to do Goro. It's like, then they're stuck there. So now for me, that one of the reasons why outside of opera, I sing, and this, of course, from my post, I've already done my first Kalaf. However, this is the thing. For me, when my teacher said, when you become a character tenor, be ready for everyone to see you just like that, because that's how the business is, which means specifically because of I'm Filipino. If I were this in my stature, if I were white, and I've seen this many times, I would be asked to sing Messiah. I would be asked to sing Bach. I can do it, but companies don't see it that way because of that. And I believe really it's because of this, what they see. So what I do is I work the system where, okay, what are the roles that it wouldn't matter what color you are, or it would be appropriate for me. Like, I'm thinking Kalaf, for example, like roles like Kalaf. It's like that's technically in the Asian category. So it's like, but they don't always cast that. So I find roles like that. And then outside of what I do, I always try to sing, not character. When I do recitals and concerts, I don't sing, just art songs. No, I sing the big arias. I still work with my teacher on that one because it is vocal. You'll never know that next time. Now, and then in addition to what I'm saying in terms of like, how I see that with Asian Opera Alliance, we still do our best to kind of like get info from our colleagues saying, okay, how is your experience here when certain people are having concerts and they're not using all of their roster when they're doing galas? I ask them, how do you feel about that? And some of them actually, for lack of a better word, are becoming compliant, which is, it's because they don't want to, have retribution of some sort, kind of like, oh, they don't want to voice their opinion. They're still very, so it's still a struggle. It's still an ongoing struggle to make sure that we go beyond what we're normally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ro. Thank you for speaking about that, because I think it's important. Oftentimes also oftentimes the Asian voices are not always the loudest in the room, or not, because culturally we know how that goes. It's still fighting against that. So, I think it's important for all of us to be able to speak, on their experience. But let's have fun. So let's have a little fun. And we talked about that. I hope the companies took note, of all the free game that we do over here in Convos. We give them free game. So what this year? What was it this year outside of classical music that you were the most inspired by and that are the most gagged by?
Gagged out. Oh my God! Outside of classical music. So okay, so this is the thing. So back in 2010, when I was in Wolf Trap, well, actually, it's 2008. We did Volpone. We did a recording, and then we got nominated for Best Opera Recording. We went to the Grammys in 2010. During that time, when it was Jeremy Little and me and Faith Sherman and Joshua Jeremiah, it's like we're all like we went there, and I didn't know that when you get nominated, you have the choice of joining the Academy. But my agent during that time was not forwarding the email, the mail to me immediately. There's a point to this. So this year or last year or something, I applied to become a member again. And I got 2 recommendations from 2 of my colleagues. One is a classical producer named Blanton Asplaw, and our good friend Lucas Meacham asked him, like, can you send me a recommendation? Because he's a... So I got my membership back. So I'm a voting member again. So it's like, and then somebody told, it's like my husband said, don't tell me who you're voting about. You know what? Because we're talking about representation. It's like, if I see Olivia Rodrigo on the list, I'm going to fucking vote for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but the cool thing about that is that's one of the main things that happened to me because I'm able to purchase a ticket. I purchased a ticket. I'm going to the Grammys on February 4th. So that's the big thing that happened to me that's really not classical that I can think of on top of my head. That's like, oh, okay, good. I get to vote. I was able to vote for, the main categories that the classical categories, all those, the opera, the classical vocal solo and all that. And not only that, to have able to have access to the Grammys. And also there's chapter meetings that happens every year. And I went to that one kind of like meeting other people. Some of them are voting members. Some of them, they call it Grammy U. Mm-hmm. And I'm supposed to be mentoring a musical theater student about the business. I haven't heard from her yet, but, from November until May. So that's something new. That's kind of nice. That's like, oh, good. It has nothing to do with opera. That I'm so excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we're both voting members as well, Kenny and I. So
hey,
yeah, it was pretty. Like it was like 2 years ago. I think it was in 2020 or whatever. I was like, I thought it was a joke. So I texted Zach. Zach. How can I forget Zach's name?
Zach.
Tall Zach.
Borchevsky?
No. The other one, the one who goes music, he does
Nelson. No, Zachary.
Zach.
No, not Zachary Nelson. Zach Nelson is something.
No,
else.
Not that. The other Zach. Anyway, I texted
I
sent him a message on Instagram and was like, "Is this real?" He was like, "Yes, Karen, it's real." And so then but then Kenny, I think was next the following year. So Zach James.
James. He was.
James,
there it is. Thanks, Steve.
Zach James. Yeah. So I said, "Is this real?" And he's like, "Yes, Karen, it's real." So hey, Lem. So Lemmy, we
what's
love
up, Lem?
I know.
What's up, Lemmy?
Yeah. So I just anyway, you have to come back and to convos, and you have to have a Rodell convo because
I know I have so many fans and not fans. I mean, I got I've been using it's like, oh girl. I mean, there's so many. I've been using it on my all of my thing right now. So.
You have to send me. You have to bring them with you.
Yes.
And then you have to do your combo, and we got to really dig in because you probably don't know that I'm a fan of yours, and I know you're very, very well.
I'm a fan of yours too. I think I was the one who contacted you first. I remember this.
Yes.
I remember. It's like a long time ago during. It was when we shared a company, and then now we're not, which is a good thing.
That was a long time ago, but we're still here.
And then, by the way, I've never met Kenny in person.
No. Not in person, no.
Not in person, only through social media.
We'll have to fix that.
Yeah, I know. Where do you live, Kenny?
Just outside of New York and Jersey.
Oh, okay. That's close enough.
Close enough. Yeah, I didn't say together. Hello.
Yeah, and it's like so. Yeah, so I'm anyway. Like that'll be great. That'll be great.
Yeah. Thanks, Ro. Enjoy your New Year. Happy New Year. You're going to
Thank you.
party? Are you going to party?
There's some. I'm at a Filipino party and they have karaoke. If you could hear part of it, it's like that's karaoke as well. I'm telling you. So now with karaoke is like any place can be a karaoke. Remember that. I mean, you can have a microphone because all you need is a YouTube, and then you could YouTube any karaoke song, and then you can sing anything. That's it's
Okay.
crazy. Yeah.
So next time,
All right,
karaoke
Kiki.
then. All right.
Thank you so much. I'll
Thank
talk
you
to you
for
soon.
being
Bye.
here.
Happy New Year.
Oh,
Bye. Oh my God, how
Bye.
do I do this? Bye.
Okay, Ro. We love Ro.
Hey, Ro.
Yeah, I thought he got serious when he got here. I thought he was gonna cut up a little bit more, but he got like so
Speaking of
serious.
something else that's slightly polarizing is
Mhm.
is film. I've been seeing so much drama surrounding the film Maestro, surrounding the film that's being made about Maria Callas with Angelina Jolie. So much controversy around the new color purple. Like, what's going on? What do you think that's about?
Y'all can pop some stuff into the chat.
Pop
I
some
just
stuff
think
in the chat. I'm just curious because I've not seen Maestro yet.
no, I
Um,
haven't seen it
but
yet.
I see people complaining and complain. First, it was about his nose, the prosthetic nose, and then the Bernstein family had to come out and say, "We approved it. We were on the set. He's not being anti-Semitic. This is fine. Our dad had a nose like that. Get over it." And then there are people talking about what's not in the movie, what is in the movie, and it's like Leonard Bernstein was a huge force. You're not going to get the fullness of him in a 2 hour, 2 hour and a half film. You're just not going to, it's not cradle to grave. It's impossible. So
Right.
I might suggest maybe watching a documentary if you want that kind of
Right.
information. But a film is a film and it's entertainment, right? But I don't know. What y'all think? Why are folks
Well,
so polarized?
let, let me I did read Lemmy's post about getting through my show. Don't make me laugh because I'm gonna cough. But Lemmy, you got I don't even know if we should bring Lemmy on to even talk about that right now, right this second. But I think that people are just in griping about everything now, and everyone, and there's so much going on, and there's so much happening, and people don't have the outlet to express themselves, and so they go on social media and they do things. And then this is not saying this about you. You didn't like the film. It didn't grab your attention. But like, even for The Color Purple, it made me very, 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 very frustrating. Artists are getting in their own way. Hello, Maestro Manson.
Come
Exactly.
on, Maestro, speak about it.
Yes, exactly. And like Color Purple, I read that book in probably way before I was even supposed to read the book, because the book came out
Right.
83 or 85. I think I might have read it in like 89, right? My eighth grade, ninth grade, whatever year that was. And then I read it multiple times, and I saw the movie multiple times, right? Like I saw the movie. It's in my top three. Like Beaches and Color Purple are my top two movies of all time. I love those kind of movies. And so I just thought, and then I did not see the musical. I know you saw the musical on Broadway,
Six
but
times.
6 times?
I saw the musical 6 times.
Wow.
Yeah, and first of all, I'm just refusing to argue with people who've not done the work, right? I'm all for folks having opinions, but I need your opinions to be based in facts and based in research and knowledge, right? So I, like you, read the book. I, like you, saw the 1985 film so much so that I can act out everybody's part. And then I saw the Broadway musical 6 times. I saw it with LaChance first, and I saw Fantasia do it twice, and then I saw Cynthia Erivo do it 3 times. And the reason why I saw Cynthia do it 3 times, not just because I think she's incredible, but they switched Suge Avery's 3 different times, and so I wanted to see all 3 of them. It started with Jennifer Hudson, who I did not care for at all, and then it went to Heather Headley, who I thought was exquisite, and then it ended with Jennifer Holliday, and it was her return to Broadway since Dreamgirls, and so that was an event, like, you just needed to be there to see that. But having read the book, seen the movie, seen the musical, and now this adaptation, which is how it was advertised from the very beginning for those of us who paid attention, I'm just baffled that people were surprised and caught off guard that it was a musical adaptation, because it had been spoken about several times. So yeah, it's confusing, really. I enjoyed the film. This most current adaptation, I think Taraji P. Henson, for me, was the star, hands down, of the film. I just think she was phenomenal. She showed all of her range as being trained as a musical theater person, which people didn't know about. She trained in musical theater at Howard University under the tutelage of Felicia Rashad. I mean, come get it together. Get it together. And Danielle Brooks, Juilliard trained. Get it together. Like, these women they know the business. And listen, I think Taraji deserves her flowers. And I think that everything that she's talking about in all of the press about improper payment and improper treatment of women, of Black women in film, it needs to be said, it needs to be talked about. It needs to be talked about in classical music too. But I know that so many people are afraid to talk about it out loud. They talk about it within their circles. They talk about it behind closed doors where it doesn't really do anything. And it's understandable that some are afraid that if you do talk about it out loud, that you'll be blacklisted, you'll be determined difficult, and people would rather not work with difficult. They just want to hire those who will go along to get along. But it needs to be discussed. If it's not discussed, it won't get changed. And she has brought something to light that is incredibly necessary. But she hasn't been the first. But she is one of the loudest. Viola Davis has spoken about this out loud. Monique has spoken about this out loud. And I just think it's a very interesting discussion. What do you think?
Yes, it certainly is. It certainly is an interesting discussion. I think that artists need to speak about these things amongst each other. You know, Russell and I have talked about these issues together, and how much people should be getting paid and how much they don't get paid. I think that, again, that is the beginning. It's difficult because people lie about how much they make. Not everybody tells the truth. And frankly, yes, it is your business, right? This is your money. That is your livelihood or whatever. But if other people knew, because what was it? Octavia Spencer, who was the actress, that the white actress that spoke to her and was like, no, you need to be getting this.
Yes.
This is the money, and advocated for her. Meryl Streep advocated for Viola Davis. You know, there have been white actresses who advocate, but that means that they sit in a space and discuss what you should be getting. And I know in classical music and opera, you know, I don't know if you talk with your friends about those not you. I'm just saying, like, if we do, because maybe people might be embarrassed that they're not making as much money as people think. But again, like, how are we supposed to have this equity? How are we supposed to be able to know what to ask for? Know what to, expect? Know, all of those. Jessica Chastain. Sherry Shepherd talks very openly about
Rosie O'Donnell took her to the side and said, listen, in your contract, do you have an allowance for a driver? Do you have an allowance for this? And she was like, no. And she was like, go ask for it.
Yep.
And
exactly.
she got it.
And she got it. She wouldn't have even known that that is even possible to have, right? So unless someone in an elite status or upper status can tell you, no, don't say yes to that, or whatever that is. And I know that is controversial, but again, like, how do we move past the next generation of singers with the industry with nothing to show for. They have nothing to show for the work that they put in because the money that they made wasn't enough to sustain themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like to live, to buy something, to have something to look at that you worked hard, that you bought and you worked hard for, be at your house or whatever that is, right? Like we just do not. We should do better, I think, as a collective of artists to be able to discuss those things and not just the 1%.
You know
Or
what's
the
interesting? I had this conversation with one of the agents that's on our team. Not necessarily the agent that handles all of my things, but there was a situation that came to me where an offer was, for me, financially disrespectful. And I remember hearing Taraji talk about her having to fight to get a certain fee that she deserved after she had achieved it in the project before. She said she felt like she had to start back over at the bottom and rebuild. And it's like, well, why can't you see that I'm already worth this number from the work, the body of work? And so I said to this agent, you can just read the first few sentences of my bio and you would understand that this financial offer is disrespectful. And then they said, oh, you actually expect people to read? You actually expect people to do their job and read? And it was stunning to me, absolutely stunning to me that I've been in this business full time for 28 and a half years, where I have had to do nothing else in the world except sing. And so why should I have to fight to get what I feel like I deserve? Why do I have to go all the way back down to the bottom to prove myself again and again and again and again and again and again? It's exhausting. It's exhausting. It's tiring. It is it sort of deflates the desire to continue to push forward. And so then what do? Do you become the squeaky wheel? Do you say, listen, that's not acceptable. Thank you, but no thank you.
Right. You got to be able to know that if you're going to leave it on the table and walk away, right? Like there is that, or yeah, that's a very I know it's a very controversial topic in our industry because people are like, you should just be happy to work, but especially after pandemic and especially since so many companies and symphonies are not doing well, and they'll just move on to the next young singer and pay them whatever. And yeah, that's also a part of the idea. That's also a part of the conversation of like when you see the work being done. And this is a conversation I've had privately and with people. When you talk about the work of representation on the stage and you see all these artists, myself and yourself included, getting opportunities to do things, but sometimes the rules have changed, right? You don't have to have all these things on your CV. You don't have to have, all this experience to be doing, amazing projects and wonderful things, which is what we all have been told. Or the idea that someone with less experience, or not quite yet at a certain whatever level, hey Marjorie, and then there's this whole generation of singers that get bumped for for companies to be seen as equitable, right? And it's like there's a generation of artists who are ripe and ready to step into singing these things that y'all all told us we had to wait for. And now, you don't get innocent. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying my cup runneth over, and I do, so it's not, I'm just singing what I see, right? And I just don't think that is a part of the conversations. Like you can do both. You can give opportunity. Because granted, I made my Met debut in a title role at like 29 years old. So some would say that I was not where I needed to be. Although I had 10 years of stage experience before that. But of having been, 10 years. Yeah, I started when I was 18, like whatever. Like I've been singing a long time, but no, just the idea of all of those things. I just hope that in this next journey, it's not bumping people out of the way to push other people forward. Like I really hope that we honor the people who have been in the trenches and in the fight and who are ready and primary. And when I think about like people like Michael Chioli, who is like tearing the stages up, singing Rigoletto at the Met, it's not a cover thing. Like, and then he gets the chance to sing. Like, no, he should be singing that. You know what I mean? So I don't know that's controversial, and I'll probably get in trouble. Probably someone will probably say I'm hating and I'm not being supported when I do definitely advocate for all singers across the board. But I just hope that we don't miss that important group of artists who just are ready to to take the industry to the next level with their experience.
It's all about the isms now, right? Like ageism is huge. Ageism is huge. Weightism is huge. Racism is huge. Like it's all just so extremely problematic. So like if you're of a certain age and you haven't done certain things, then you're seen as non-viable. If you've not sung here or there or hither or yonder, then you're tossed to the side. For someone who is maybe half your age that has done a fraction of the work that you've already poured into the industry, where is the equity in that? Where is the fairness in that? Some people talk about, like when I remember when I was first starting through the YAP system, people were calling it cheap labor. You hire somebody young to do a small role, whereas in certain houses before that time, the people who were doing the small roles were incredible. They were veterans. They were seasoned professionals doing the thing. Those days seem to have been put to pasture.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's sad. And I see a lot of it, especially with women in particular. I see it. And it's just not cool. I don't know what the problem, I mean, I don't know what the solution is, but it's a problem.
Yeah. Well, Miss Marjorie's going to sing Electra in Dallas, and I heard that Miss Marjorie was burning down Mark Markham's studio in Baltimore singing. So if you are in the Dallas area, the Dallas Fort Worth area, please go down to see Miss Marjorie Owens tear down Wortham Opera House. Is it Wortham? I was just there and I forgot the name of the damn house. No, that's Houston. Anyway, yes, exactly, Marjorie. Yeah, but you don't even see women after 50-ish even singing. Even like singing at that, like there's so few, singing. So anyway, that's conversation for another. That's conversation for another. If I learn her in time, you will, honey. You will. We always do. It's sometimes it's to the finish line, baby. Yes. You see, the streets are talking, Marjorie. The streets are talking. Yes. So let's get back to some pop music. Okay, so this was Britney Spears. She did her tell-all this year. She released her tell-all this year. And she said a lot. She told a lot. Definitely makes your girl fear getting. Don't fear, Mark. See, you're a triple threat, Jasmine. So when one check might go away, you got 3 or 4 or 5 other checks coming. That's
Come on, and that spin you put on Dave Ragland's music, honey, is still ringing in my ears. You sang that thing, baby.
You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. No, but I want to talk about this Britney Spears, this tell-all. She told on the mama, the daddy, Justin.
Didn't she run him out the country briefly?
I think she did.
He ran out of the country until it died down a little bit.
Right. Hello. But you know what? Just the idea of like these child stars who we grew up watching. And everybody knew Britney. Like, she was the pop darling, the star, and unraveling right before our eyes.
Yep.
Went crazy.
Yep.
Yes, went crazy. The book made you cry, Matt. What was it? What happened in the book that made you cry? I mean, everything. And then you see her on like Insta and all this thing. And people don't understand, like, you really give everything to this. They really like signed their whole life over because she was a Disney child, right?
Yep. She and Christina Aguilera and Justin Timberlake, like they were all in that same crop.
Disney is trash. I shouldn't say that. You can sponsor me though, but Disney doesn't take care of their people.
They own you, baby. They own you.
They own you. Everything. Oh, speaking of opera, the coronation. Miss Pretty Yende singing in the King Charles coronation.
Listen, the King, and now she's a Dior ambassador. Like she's really doing it. She's giving us crossover. She's giving us, and this is what I want opera to get back to. I live for the days when Callas was Callasing and she was going hither and yonder in the fashions and tipping through the airports and the paparazzi following her and people sleeping outside of the ticket office days in advance to get a ticket just to see her. Where is that energy in opera now? Where is that? And I think Pretty is one of the people who's bringing it back. I mean, being asked to sing for the coronation of the King of England as a Black South African woman is
Yes.
absolutely high honor, high praise. And she did it in that gorgeous canary yellow custom gown. And she was injured while she was doing it. She had hurt herself performing in Vienna.
Right.
Her doctor told her to stay off her feet. She went, did the coronation, went back, still injured. I mean, and you would not have known it by the way she stood up there and handled her business. And then to turn around and be a Dior ambassador is just highly good kudos.
Exactly. Tremendous. And just always with so much grace and so much high artistry and just such a warm. I haven't met Pretty, but of course I know her because many of you all know her really well. And so I feel like I know her through you all, but always just so humble and understood. I remember what Kenny always says about Pretty is that she understands her purpose and why she is doing what she's doing, why she's been charged to do what she's doing. And I respect so much people.
Yeah, we met in 2008. I was singing Porgy at Deutsche Oper Berlin, and it was with the Cape Town Opera from South Africa. And she was one of the Claras. And this was before she was who she is. This is before she had won anything. And every single day before every performance, you would hear her in her dressing room practicing her other repertoire before every show. Practice, she was always singing Qui la voce from Puritani. She was always singing all the bel canto repertoire before the show. And then after that production ended, she went and won the Belvedere. She went and won this. And then she got into the La Scala program, and then the rest is history. But she's always had her nose to the grind. She's always been centered in the Lord. And I think that has led to largely why she's so successful.
Well, there you go. And all her colleagues really respect her and love her. And to me, it's nothing more. Yes, we love the audience and the audience giving us love. But if your colleagues and people who do what you do and are in your industry speak highly of you and respect you, to me, that goes very, very, very far. So kudos, shout out to Miss Dior, brand ambassador, Miss Pretty Yende, and her being incredible in the coronation this year. What? The Britney Spears. It was the Britney Spears. Like she talked about so many. So yeah, her Jasmine said that her book proved that she was misunderstood. And yeah, it's hard, right?
Taken advantage of by people who are supposed to protect you. It has to be tough. Exactly. And she's apparently on the outs with her sister, who is a very talented actress. She's in this show that I watch on Netflix called Sweet Magnolias. Heather Headley stars in it. And Britney Spears' sister is in the show, and she is wonderful in the show.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Jamie Lynn, but wasn't she one of the ones that took the money too?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Segue into our next guest coming in. And
Uh-oh.
then some of y'all I'm gonna ask y'all to come on. So be ready to come on. But today, hey, listen,
Hi.
Kenny, do you know Miss Allison?
I have not had the honor, privilege, and pleasure of meeting this queen.
Oh my goodness. The
Listen,
pleasure is all mine, darling.
How
How
are
are
you?
you two?
We're
just
better now.
here,
How
yes,
lovely to
just
see
here
you both.
talking our talk. Okay.
I have to admit, I'm home tonight. I dressed up just for you though. I was
Thank
like, let me put
you.
on some sparkles. But my kids are home. My daughter's having a sleepover. And my son was like, I want you to watch Severance. I haven't seen Severance yet. So
Oh,
we're doing a marathon. So I'm not caught up. What are y'all talking about? I've been hanging out with the kids.
that's okay. We've been jumping around. We just finished Britney Spears, but we were talking about equity in our industry. We were talking about
Oof.
ageism. We were talking about like
Oh,
how
God.
some hot topics. And what you drinking on? What you drinking on?
Girl, don't make fun of me. I am sipping on gin and juice.
Oh,
Come on. Come on.
come on, Snoop.
Ow.
Dr. Dre, gin and juice.
No, what I like to do, so it's a gin and tonic, and I put grapefruit juice in it.
Come on now.
Splash instead of lime. I like lime too, but I did grapefruit juice. It's very
I love
refreshing.
you.
Very refreshing.
I love
And
you.
I feel really like, gangster drinking. I'm like, I'm sipping on
Now,
gin.
where are you from?
Okay, so I'm originally from Chicago.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so my whole family's from there. But when I was in like 5th grade, we relocated to the Hudson Valley in Poughkeepsie, New York. My parents and I. And that's when I, got into music around that time and started going back and forth to New York every weekend. Oh, excuse me, I got
Yeah.
you.
So
Yeah.
before you move on, I have to just say a little bit. I'm gonna say a little bit about you.
Oh, okay.
Miss Allison
Okay.
is a powerhouse flautist.
Sure.
Sure.
Either.
Whatever. Composer,
Okay.
producer. And her work defies classification. This is what the Wall Street Journal says, and described as evocative.
Ooh.
She has I know you can talk about this. You have co-created Flowtronics. Flowtronics with the Natalie Joaquin, right? Critically acclaimed, praised by again. The Wall Street Journal loves you. Listen, I'm gonna let you talk more about when I tell you the first time I've been following your career. Like I've been following you. I knew your work, and I knew what you were doing, and we officially met in Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery.
We were at the Equal Justice Initiative. It was a convening hosted by Anthony McGill. And we were there.
Brian Stevenson himself.
If you don't know him, look him up. And Miss Allison, I had met you before she was on a panel. We saw each other at a bar, at the restaurant bar.
That's right, because they had the seafood place downstairs with the crab cakes, and I was like, let's
see, we are already friends because you're speaking my language.
Yes, okay.
Yes. But this woman spoke on a panel. And I was sitting there, listening to the panel, and I lifted my head because she was fearless to say what she meant, and to me, and she meant what she said, and she was bold, and it was not. She was not speaking around the conversation. She went right through it, and I said, "That is my kind of girl." And I think after that, we've been good friends ever since. But
oh my God, yes, it was love at first sight. I was like, thank God I finally have, our paths have crossed, because all of this is reciprocated. I've been watching from afar as well, in awe. And and you performed that night maybe, or the day after, and oh my God.
Girl.
Whew.
You know, we
I
show
love
and we
it.
show up and show out. But just tell us a little bit about you, because you know
Yeah.
the Black classical instrumentalist is
Mm.
like lives in this like abyss of like no one knows that you are that you exist.
That's true. An abyss. Girl, where would you like me to start? I mean, where is a good point of entree? It's an interesting, complicated, beautiful
So let
thing.
me, can I ask you,
Yeah. Hmm.
um, are you a flautist that wanted to be desired to be like first chair flute in a big orchestra, or are you a flautist that is a soloist, or
Hmm.
is it both? And
Hmm.
when did you decide?
This is a great question, and I think I was actually, this is a good point of entree too, because I got into playing the flute solely because I loved music. You know, I grew up in a household where I was fortunately exposed to like a lot of music, a lot of the time. So it was just, you know, my world. So I didn't necessarily, and I loved it. I loved the flute. And for me, it was like what felt like the closest thing that I related to the voice, the human voice. I know a lot of people say that about their instrument, but that's how it felt to me. That's how the flute and still feels to me. But it was never necessarily about being like a classical player exclusively or per se. I got into it because I had heard uh, different, actually, I think, and I realized this recently in an interview. Really, the first flute playing that I was exposed to was not classical flute. It was like Hubert Laws, it was Jethro Tull, it was Herbie Mann, it was, you know, all these other flute players. And then, you know, eventually I kind of fell into the classical music world as a means to get really high level training. You know, it just that was what seemed like the way to go in order to work with the best flute players in my, I was at this point, I'm in the New York tri-state area. So I was able to take advantage of the music scene in New York, and the teachers there and the opportunities there. And I didn't know anything about anything. I just wanted to play the flute. I just wanted to play the flute. I wanted to play the flute. I had a talent for it. All my music teachers were like, you're really great. We can't, because I didn't start taking private lessons until I was 15, and I started when I was 10. So
Mm.
the first 5 years, it was all self-driven, self-taught, like by ear or
Mhm.
whatever was available in school. But aside from that, it was very much driven by curiosity and like creativity. And then I kind of fell into like classical pedagogy just, by once I started my formal training as a means to become a better flutist. Now, with that being said, I also, have a deep, profound love and appreciation for classical music. So that felt great. I was like, oh, awesome, and then I just, for years, a very long time, like through undergrad, I became very, very just focused on becoming a better player. I found myself very suddenly immersed in this world as a teenager, and meeting other teenagers in the New York area who had been doing this since they were like 3, at like this really high level. And I felt like I had a lot of catching up to do. I had so much to learn. It was just like a whole new thing. And I loved it because there's just like music all the time, and I just really, really wanted to be good and get better. And when I was, in my last year undergrad, I was about to go on to graduate school and continue on this performance track, which at least back then, which is over 20 years ago now, was very much focused on training you for really just an orchestral career, like as a woodwind player. That was kind of like the option, or at least what you were told, or at least, that's what the training was pretty much exclusively training you to do. And, you know, I realized that that's not necessarily why I got into music,
Mhm.
you know, in the first place. And I kind of had this like, oh gosh, like, you know, like where am I going, you know, with this music making, and felt this urge to just kind of like halt and pause and take some time off. So I was about to go off to like a really, you know, prestigious studio and program and all this stuff and do all the right things that I was supposed to do. And instead I was like, no, I'm just gonna move to Brooklyn. You know, and so of course my teachers and people who cared about me were like, oh my God, what is the plan? You know, like, what are you doing? And I didn't know. I just, but I felt a really strong urge to try to figure some things out and try different things, different, you know, music opportunities, just see like what kind of like would get you excited about music making and like what I could possibly do, because it's not like, you know, I have enjoyed greatly playing in orchestra. Let me know if I'm rambling. Like just be like, cut. I have enjoyed playing in orchestra. I've had amazing experiences. It's beautiful. But I feel like, you know, that is a career that you have to want like so bad just to wake up every day and do those auditions. You know what I mean? Let alone once you get the job. So and I knew that wasn't me. You know,
I
like,
hear you.
Yeah.
How do you meld the classical, the style of what you do, right? The training, the pedagogy, and with the other styles of music and your composition. Yeah, we haven't even talked about you as a composer.
Yeah, right. Well, after this quarter life crisis I had, that's when I started kind of like, you know, improvising, venturing out. And then a few years later, I started Flutronics with Natalie Droshin. And I ended up going back to school, but for composition, because at that point,
Wow.
you know, these improvisations, these experimentations, and this like exploring brought me to a place where I realized that I, first and foremost, am a creative person, you know, and that's actually how I got into music in the first place. And I kind of lost sight of that, to be honest, like during all that, all those intense years, which no regrets. Are you kidding? I mean, like it's such a deep part of who I am. But yeah, I mean, that's what ended up happening. So when I started writing music, you know, I didn't have an agenda. It was more like a means of like a need. It was like, I need music to play. So I'm going to write music for myself. And I started writing a lot of flute stuff. And then I started using electronics. And this was back when home studios were becoming like a thing, you know, so we're talking like the aughts or whatever. You know, so I had my little like, you know, janky setup. And I was playing around with things like GarageBand, but like this is how you would, you know, you got started. And you know, gravitated into working with electronics, and I found like a vehicle to express these musical languages that I had grown up with. You know what I mean? That were just like there in a way that I hadn't done in a long time and hadn't yet done like on the flute in like a classical setting. You know, and then I started bringing the flute into it, and then it just kind of very organically grew from there and put music out on the internet. That's how I met Natalie, and she was doing the same thing. And we started working together.
How can we find something to listen to and support you in
well,
all of the things?
Yeah, sure. Well, there's my website, of course, which is it's just AllisonLoggins.com. But I'm on all the social media things. You know, I have there's been some recordings of my compositions that you can listen to on all the streaming platforms, things like that. There's tons of YouTube videos of myself and other people playing my compositions. So it, you know, it's, you know, thankfully it's not too hard to find.
Yeah. How do you meld exactly? How do you meld your activism? Because somebody put in, you know, Adam Sadberry, and you know, and I know that you know you are very you know, you talk the talk, right? You say the things that need to be said. You are a consultant, and you are an the composer in residence for Cleveland Orchestra, which is huge, right?
Yeah.
Brava,
Thank
and
you.
then all of the other
Yeah.
things that you have
Great.
going on. But like, this
Mhm.
idea of how you are the artist as the activist, the in these spaces that we all go, are they probably tired of all of this
Mhm.
conversation around. So how do you approach that and still remain who you are and still deliver your high level of art?
Wow. That's a beautiful question. I don't know. I just really, really want the work to just do what it's supposed to do and speak for itself. So I, I'm I'm very much in a point in my creativity where I'm very much focused on um I guess you could say like storytelling in my compositions, but like in a way where, like, for example, in Cleveland, I'm doing a lot of work in and around the community with people who live in Cleveland, just outside of, Severance Concert Hall, who have nothing to do with the orchestra, in an effort to learn something about the place and them and their story and what's going on in Cleveland. And not necessarily with an agenda. Like, I don't have an agenda, and I think that's really important when it comes to, when being the delicate balance between like over inserting yourself in like a project and then like remembering the larger picture, right? So I think that's important, and I try to do work in a way where it's collaborative in that way, where I'm like, either working with people or learning with people or collaborating with them, making music together, sharing stories, all that kind of stuff, and letting them kind of like guide the practice in a way. So it's not necessarily I think just the act of telling their story in so many ways is activism, because a lot of the different, like populate the stories that they're telling, they're stories that need attention, stories that are oftentimes like overlooked, or unknown and that kind of thing. So I just try my best to be in service of that during the creative process, which, easier said than done, but that to me is what I always try to like keep in mind, not get too like heady in it,
Yeah.
not get too like, concerned about my own stuff, or like whatever, or my own thoughts on anything, or that, but more just about like what I'm getting, and just try to do my best in that way and figure out what, how can the music elevate this, right? Or what musical tools will serve this
So
best.
so what's up with the new baritone and flute piece that we're gonna work together on?
He always does that. He
What?
always does that.
I
I
thought we were
mean,
doing a trio.
Michelle.
Wait,
you gotta shoot your shot when it's right there. I
I'm
mean,
sorry. I thought we were doing a trio. What happened to that?
listen, that works. That works.
I didn't see the email. You got to resend that email. Make sure Gregory Brown is CC'd on it. No, just kidding. Shout out to Gregory Brown. No,
Yes. Yes. So what do you do
I'm
for
kidding.
fun? What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? I love that. Karen, I'm so glad you asked that, because I've actually, and so in the past month or so, I've been home, which has been really nice, but also very uncomfortable for me, because I like to, I like, and I have to also travel a lot. But I've needed to just kind of like, but also I have a lot of writing to do. So I've been home for over a month, and I'll be home like for another month. And I've been really like thinking about that very question, like what I want to be spending my like recreational free time with, that kind of thing. And it's been so long since I have like studied a language, actually. So this is a new thing, but I think I want to learn Korean. I have
Wow.
decided. There's a long story, but I've settled on that. And this is gonna be, like a new kind of thing that I'm gonna pick up. So I like to pick up like these new kind of things. Of a year or so ago, actually, I think it was more than that. I became like a runner, and that's become a really important, actually, kind of like part of my routine, not just for like physical health, but like mental health,
Yeah.
and my own just like quiet time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like, you know, that kind of just stillness, even though I'm moving, but there's a stillness to it, ironically. But yeah, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I like having those kind of like I guess it's kind of a like a new skill kind of activities too. But you know, I also love to eat food from all over the
Yes.
world, girl. I love food. I love wine, food and wine. I worked in restaurants for like a decade almost in fine dining restaurants as a
Oh.
whole lifetime ago. Yeah, when I was trying to support myself as a musician back in the day. Girl.
Oh, so we're going wine tasting then. Okay.
Oh yes, but
Baby.
but like let me tell you. So I, you know, I had the fortune. I worked at this one place at the Modern, which is at the Museum of Modern Art, and they had a wine director who every week would offer a wine class for like the entire staff, front of house, back of house. So like the kitchen staff could come, you know, like the runners, everybody, and it was so great because every week it'd be like a different theme. So like one week it would be like, you know, Alsatian whites, or like, you know, Bordeaux, you know, this kind of thing. And you would like learn. It's fascinating, like about like how the land and the weather, the weather, the climate, all these different things affect, you know, the wine, of course, the way it tastes, like the texture, everything, and the food. It's really fascinating. So I love that kind of stuff. I tell you, if I didn't, I love drinking wine, learning about wine, you know, those kinds of things.
Exactly.
Yeah, and spending time with friends and family, quality time.
Absolutely.
I like people.
Yeah.
I like my people, especially people I love. So
That's right. So when in 2024 we have to promise that we all will get together
yeah.
and kick it for sure.
Where does everybody live? I don't think I'm straight on that.
Oh, I'm in Philly and Kenny's in Jersey.
Oh, I'm in Jersey too.
We're in Jersey.
In Montclair. Where do you live?
Yeah, close.
I'm in East Orange. I'm like,
Oh,
Uh-oh.
that's where my daughter has her little string rehearsal.
we are neighbors.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh. Trouble, double
Listen.
trouble.
I'm through. Let me find you on Bloomfield Avenue.
Listen.
Hey, Kenny.
Yes.
Okay,
Y'all
so
are-
Jersey Hang. And Philly is not that far.
Not at
At
all.
all.
No, and Kenny's a Philadelphian. We went to high school together, so we go
Oh,
way
really?
back.
Oh, you guys go way back.
Yeah, we go way
Yep,
back.
on the playground is where I spend most of my days chilling out.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
a little older than me, but you know.
I'm gonna keep it straight.
Cut it.
Let's be clear.
Very, very. No. Allison, I adore you. Thank you for
I
coming
adore you.
on.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Oh, we
It's
have a
so
lot.
nice to
We have
meet
a lot
you.
of
So
fun.
nice to meet you. So Kenny, you and I are gonna get together.
Yes, and
I love
soon.
it.
Yes, and soon. It's so funny. Do you like West Indian food by any chance?
Yes.
So there's this. So my husband is Trinidadian, and my son in particular, ever since he was a baby, he just naturally like just loves like Trini food. So it's just like in his blood. So there is a Trini spot. And is it East Orange? I think it's East Orange. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's
No.
like the one spot in like this entire area of North Jersey. So we can go there and get some doubles or something.
There you go.
You know?
Hit the DM. Hit the
Thank you
DM.
so
Yes.
It's done. It's done.
Yeah.
All right.
I love it.
Happy New Year.
Okay,
my
Happy New
love.
Year. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. All
all
right.
right.
Love.
Love. Allison is great. She's everything.
I love her. Like immediately love her. Like, oh my God.
She's everything.
She needs to be in my life.
Wait till you hear her play. Wait till you hear her
Wow.
play. Yes. So back to hot topics. Do we
Yes.
stay in pop music, movies, or do we go to opera hot topics?
Let's go to political hot topics.
Ooh. Uh-oh. 2024 is a big year, everybody.
It's a big year, folks. I said that I wasn't going to argue with y'all about this upcoming election in 2024 like I did the last time. Because last time I was posting every other day about it. And, I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to say everything that you need to know is at your disposal. Everything that you need to know. we're in a position where I know a lot of people are like, I don't like either candidate that's, going to run for president again. And it will probably be the lesser of two um, desirables, undesirables. But the clown show that we're currently seeing, both in the because I've made it a point to watch a couple of the Republican debates because I just like to see and hear for myself. Like I want to hear what comes out of your mouth. I want to see your face while you're saying it and look in your eyes while you're saying it. And it's been a full-on Ringling Brothers circus. Like these people are actually crazy. Like when Nikki Haley could not talk about slavery being the reason for the Civil War, like case closed, end your campaign, goodbye, good luck, and then come back the next day and try and apologize. It's just a mess. And this Vivek Ramaswamy, or however you pronounce it, like just dangerous, absolutely dangerous. And Ron DeSatan in his high heel boots. I mean, come on. We don't we nothing else needs to be said. And then of course 45 with his 91 counts, with his twice impeached, with his all of these indictments. It's just the sheer fact that it could be a possibility says more, I think, about us as a country than it does about the criminal that we're talking about. Just do the right thing, people. Just do the right thing.
And it's a strong possibility.
Yeah.
Yes, the states are banning him. Yes. But if
Yes,
enough states don't,
Maine and
right?
Colorado so far.
That's where you started your recital tour, you
That's
said.
where the recital tour started.
We'll be giving free concerts in Maine and
Free
Colorado.
concerts in Maine and Colorado. Come see me. Come see me.
Yes, exactly. But like the idea that he could actually win because people are like, Biden's too old. What have they done? They've done nothing. We've not seen anything. And what I always am so fascinated. And please, people, put your take on politics. Like what I don't understand is that people don't understand that like when one party comes in and things fall apart, another party has to come in and fix it, and then people are mad, and then they vote in another part. Like it is really like a ring around the rosy. Just pay attention. Like people don't get it. Like it's the same clown show consistently every 8 years, right? Every 4 years. I mean, we're privy to it every 2 years, right? Because they're constantly campaigning. But the idea that Biden has done nothing and that we would go back to what it was like when Trump was president, I just can't. I don't even know what to say about that.
I find it troubling on both sides. I don't think that the Biden administration toots its horn as much as it could or should, because he has gotten a lot done up against incredible opposition, up against a Senate that is disrespectful and uncooperative. It's just messy on both sides. Do better. People, snarked at the $10,000 student debt relief. Listen, it was 10,000 more than you had before.
Yeah.
And it's like, the economy is going up, jobs have gone up, gas prices are going down, the pandemic was under control. Like he inherited all of this mess, and has been able to do a little bit of work in trying to fix it. Now, the other side just simply doesn't have a platform about what they're going to do to help the country forward. It's just about disparaging those that are trying to do. And that's just extremely problematic. It's extremely problematic for women. The government needs to stay out and off of women's bodies. It's none of your business the way that Texas and Florida and all these people are trying to navigate what is best for a woman, her family, her doctors, and whoever she decides to be her spiritual guide. Because those are the only participants in a woman's right to choose whatever she wants to do with her body. And we're just, and gay people too. Listen, you're one election away from having the rights that you just attained being taken away. We've seen it 50 years of Roe v. Wade gone in a blink of an eye. And part of it, and this is what makes me upset, part of it is because so many people don't vote in local, state, city, district elections. Those every 2-year elections that elect district attorneys, that elect judges, that elect senators and House of Representatives people. They don't turn out. And so then the majority goes to the other side. And the president can only sign the bills that are decided and voted upon by the House and the Senate. And so we have gifted Joe Biden nothing but people who are against what he wants to do. So it's like golden handcuffs, honestly. It's tiresome.
I feel like we all need to be forced to go back to like civics and like learn, like in order to get
Is it being taught in school?
Lord knows what's being taught because I don't even like children, so I don't have kids. I don't know. But I mean, I really feel like before you get a driver's license renewed, before you get all of these things, a passport or whatever, you should have to like pass a test, right? Or you should have because of the fact that we are so uneducated as a country and we still believe we're the greatest, the goats, of every country in the world, right? It's just like, but only 3 million people voted. It wasn't the last time, right? Or something. How many people vote? How many millions of people voted last time? It was such a minute number. It was embarrassing.
So I think Biden won with 77 million.
So 77 million. So how many people voted, right?
And 45 had 74 million. And so that's like 140 something million, and the country is twice that.
But 15 million people voted. I didn't mean to say 3 million. I think I was thinking about Philadelphia or something. Like only less than 1 million people voted for the mayor, which is embarrassing. But like 15 million people in this country. Are you kidding me right now? Like, yeah. And then people say my vote doesn't count. Well,
I mean, New York City is 8.5 million on its own.
Right. Yeah, local elections, right?
You gotta show up locally.
I remember pulling the lever as a kid, going into like the voting booths and pulling the lever for my like every year, 2 years or whatever it was, So I grew up with people that were very politically engaged. Now sometimes they voted for the same people over again who didn't do anything on the local level, which is a whole other conversation. But yes, there was that. Yeah, hopefully the 2024 is going to be another clown show year, y'all. Are y'all ready? We ready?
Recover from the last 2.
We're still in trauma, and we're not. It's not going anywhere. And then what if something happens to Biden? Like, who knows, right? Then Kamala becomes president. I don't know.
Right? Will she become president? And I think a lot of people are polarized by that idea that they don't want to see her as president, or frankly, any woman.
Right. You see what they did? They railroaded Hillary.
And Hillary was railroaded by her own.
Well, that's
which is, I mean,
that's a whole other conversation.
It's a whole other conversation.
Yes. One side could probably in democracy, as we know it is. So
absolutely. Absolutely.
Y'all better get in those polls and vote and act right.
Come on, Taylor Swift.
Come on, Taylor Swift. Beehive and the Swifties get together. Yes.
Come on, Swifties.
Moving on. Remember the submarine people? I put that in my in my notes to talk about. Those are millionaires, billionaires that got into the submarine and like
Foolishness. I feel so bad for the wasn't there a child down there with them?
I think so. It was
Like
like five people died in
the
the
son of
submarine.
one of them.
Listen,
I just first
it's
of all,
not funny. I'm not laughing. As Sam says, the Americans are so uneducated, right? We're laughing about the clown show of the submarine situation. Yeah, they're still on politics. It's true though. We got the right person in our city. You're in Minneapolis, right, Jim? Yeah.
I'm so extremely claustrophobic that the idea of getting into a submarine just I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do it at all.
What are you doing? Why? Don't get me started on the
Because they
Vici
wanted to see
song.
the Titanic, right? Wasn't that the thing?
I think so. I think so.
Friend,
Yes.
just watch the movie on a big screen TV. Just watch the movie. Like, don't, what are you doing down there? Why are you down there? And the same for me with the people going up into outer space, doing that stuff.
Oh,
Leave that to the NASA people. Jim Bezos and all those other people paying gazillions of dollars to fly on up there. You're not supposed to be up there.
you're not. And the people and if there's life up there, they don't want us because we're at Ratchet and Earth. Earth is ghetto, and they don't want us. Mars is like, stay over there.
Stay over there. The Martians are like, no.
Right, right. They went to explore the Titanic, and then they
In front
sank.
of, ain't that what the armored guards say in Discipleship? Zurück, like get back.
Exactly. Get back. Get back. The Lord have mercy. The submarines. Tupac's murder was solved
Was it
in
though?
2023.
I thought they had the person in there. So who's in jail?
Keefe D is in jail. But he's saying he didn't do it. He said he did. I don't know, child. But that was a big topic in 2023. So does change happen? So change does happen, but we all have to vote. Vote. Yes, voting matters. Vote, 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 vote. Register to vote.
Yeah,
Register to vote. Opera, classical music. I know we don't want to be political, but we got to get people. We can't assume that those people are registered to vote, right? So y'all do right in these halls and these theaters, and maybe put a little booth on the side for somebody to register to vote in
right.
the
Yeah.
foyer, please. And thank you. Um,
There were so many crazy stories, like because we were always calling each other, just like, can you believe this? Can you believe that?
exactly. Oh, well, look who showed up.
Who? Up. Where's
Okay,
my hoodie? Where's my hoodie?
Sean, we have your name came up. I see Jasmine's on here, so she heard about our hoodies. We have not gotten our hoodies.
Dave
I
Ragland is
heard
on
about
here. Dave Ragland's on here too.
hoodie. Yes. Yes. They said go vote and watch one. Oh, yes. Dave has an opera. One vote one. So watch that. Hi, Sean. This must be a break. Yes. And I need mine first. Yes. You're absolutely
What?
right.
You just making them one at a time?
Not one at a time.
What you mean? They got a post office where you are. You can bulk mail. Sean,
Oh.
see, Sean, don't make me get on you. You already only write for Will Liverman, so you on my list anyway. Get me my merch.
I must say Sean fulfilled his promise to crash the convo. Yes. Are you coming on,
He
Sean?
better fulfill his promise and get me my merch.
Do we talk about the scandalo after the new year or going into the new year?
Which one?
Scandalo. We could talk opera scandalo. Regina in the Trepco scandalo. We could talk about Diddy
Listen,
and that scandalo. We could on
it's
how
so
2024 is really going to be a dumpster fire of crazy.
it's going to be a dumpster fire of lawsuits and court appearances. It's really quite a mess. I wish Judge Judy could officiate some of these cases because these other judges, they be playing. She's so no nonsense. Just cut it out. So Diddy and all of these people that are coming out of the woodworks, and now TD Jakes, this scandal coming
Ooh,
out of it. And every day it seems like another man is being sued for sexual assault for as far back as I saw the other day, 40 years.
40
Like,
years.
yeah, like it's crazy out here. This is why y'all never know who I'm dating. Y'all, I keep y'all out of my business because y'all are not gonna have my name dragged through these streets. You're not gonna
Oh,
do it.
are you a beast? I mean, what's happening?
You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. It's
Oh, yeah,
crazy.
that's why we need artists. Yes, a diverse mix. Truly, I mean, what's going on there? And I mean, this is not a laughing matter, but the Epstein list is gonna be revealed January tomorrow. Tomorrow, Jeffrey Epstein's list of the guests who were at that island and who are in the Rolodex, baby. Now that's gonna be something.
Woo-wee.
That's going to be something.
Every journalist is waiting with bated breath to break that story.
Whoever could not pay for their name to be off the list. Baby, that's tomorrow might be unless the courts come in and say
Aren't the
it may
courts on vacation? The courts are closed.
they say January 1st that list is going live. So
Are we
bye
really starting the new year
Sean.
off like that? The new year is
I'm glad
really starting off like that?
I need to get back to the fam. I'll try to have okay. I'm glad you were here for your dragging. Thank
The
you.
post office opens on Tuesday. Sean,
Bye, Sean. Yes, but that
Dave
list is
and
going.
Jasmine, come get your friend.
Yes, I said we know what Karen's doing tomorrow. Okay, like I'm I'm fascinated. Now, I mean, it's awful. It's awful. Did you see anybody see any documentaries? The documentaries are like awful, but I want to know. I want to know who's on that list. Who was going to that island and doing all those things? Like we need to know because these men need to be drugged out in the street. And if they were, having inappropriate relationships with young women or men.
The only person happy about this is R. Kelly because it temporarily takes his name out of the news cycle.
Exactly. He's locked in the jail, never to get out.
In Brooklyn, of all places.
In Brooklyn.
He in Brooklyn.
Oh,
And there
child.
are literally women outside of the jail in Brooklyn advocating for him.
Of course. Mentally ill. Next, mentally ill. Next. Next, Jonathan Majors. They say he got railroaded. Lost all.
I have a soft spot in my heart for Jonathan Majors because we both went to North Carolina School of the Arts, and he was just on such a rise. He's so gifted, so talented, and to see this utter collapse, like I don't even think he's 35 yet, and this career is just, it looks like it's done
Right.
and dusted. And he had 3 movies in the theaters at the same time, lost the Marvel contract. I mean, it's just awful. I don't know everything that went on in that courtroom. I only know the snippets that have been leaked out into the socials, but her chasing him down the street for blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. I mean, I cannot.
How? The only thing is he's gonna have to lay low, and then Tyler Perry or Oprah will come back and revive his career.
It'll have to be Tyler. Oprah's not getting involved in that.
Get out of the chat, Mr. Cole. Good night. Good night. That was crazy. That was crazy. That
Yeah,
was
it's crazy.
yeah.
It's
Well,
crazy.
that was a nightmare.
And telling her that she needed to act like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama. I was just like, oh my God, what's
what do you
happening?
A disgrace, an absolute disgrace, an absolute disgrace. And oh yes, Miss Netrebko and that whole
Listen, I another polarizing figure.
another polarizing. I heard she's singing the kids down. The
Listen,
voicing.
I heard a clip of some recital she did, and she was singing some Russian art song by Rachmaninoff. And I'm telling you, the voice was voicing. I'm no big Netrebko fan on the vocal spectrum. Let me make that clear. I do like what she brought or brings to classical music. Like, she is clearly not out here to be making friends. Like, she's in her fashions. She's she's giving antics. She's giving all of that. And she hasn't been in America since the whole fallout with the Metropolitan and the Russian-Ukrainian war.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still getting paid. She's still booked to capacity. She's at La Scala. She's in Vienna. She's, in Berlin, and she's everywhere, doing what she wants to do, singing what she wants to sing, singing how she wants to sing. And honestly, she's showing us that she doesn't need to come back here. But will she come back here? And if she does, what will be the vehicle that brings her back here?
Right.
Because when I tell you, I have never seen a dress rehearsal at the Metropolitan completely and totally full, like it was a performance on opening night. When the Trepco was in town, it was packed. Whether you like her voice or not, like Miss Brummer would say, somebody's gonna like it whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, the kids came to see her. She brought an energy. She brought fire, electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And
should she be penalized for her
do you think politics should stay out of the arts? And is that a thing?
It's hard to say that because as someone who speaks openly about issues that can be seen as political, when you talk about race and gender, it's hard for me to say that.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to say. What's it? She Anna does not need Gelb. Okay, well, yeah, well, them seats ain't as full as they used to be on a certain things. So you're absolutely right, Sean. Russell. Hey, Russell has entered the chat. She was forced to speak politically. She was forced to speak politically. Okay.
And the thing is, she said that she was against the war. Like, what else did he want her to say? He wanted her to denounce her relationship with Putin,
who funded probably many of
their entities here in America who won't denounce their allegiance to 45. And 45 started an insurrection against the United States of America, which should immediately disqualify one from being able to run for president.
Right. And she tried to avoid it, and it's hard to when you are the face of opera, right? And all those things are happening in your.
And the arts have always been political since the beginning of time.
Yeah, exactly. See, we're not talking about like fair and free. We're talking about
Bye, Russell. Bye, Russell.
Right, and as you say that we're not so so that's a whole other thing. Yeah, it's a whole other thing. Yeah, she's quite a polarizing figure still. And in 2024, will we see?
Will we see an American Anna in America?
Will we see Anna Mary? What company will have her come back? Because she definitely can sing the things. Not that other people can't sing the things, but she is the opera singer in that old school tradition, in that way, in a in our industry.
Yes,
So
Ablatikov was released from Paris, and Paris don't really have a lot of room to talk either, because their leaders, listen, they're all problematic.
yes,
They're all, and yes, I agree, Russell. It was incredibly unfair, and she
yes.
had contracts. She had contracts into what, 2027? Is that what the receipts were saying?
Something like that. I mean, she obviously is missed, and I know people are she's polarizing. People think never again, never again. We don't want to hear, but like if people really knew what other people thought, that they were beloved, maybe they would feel differently about them, right? Yeah, her level of. I remember seeing the Trebko in San Francisco when I was a young artist. She was there doing Musetta, so this was a long time ago, right, when she was singing that stuff. And I couldn't take my eyes off of her. Now, the way she sang it was not particularly my particular taste, it was all of it was beautiful. All of it was amazing, and I wasn't the quality that I was used to hearing, right? The sound of voice, and I couldn't take my eyes off of her. I couldn't move up. Like that was it for me. I was like, yeah, that's it for me. Like I could see why she was on that track. To be like a Colossus, like that kind of thing. Which this year was a Colossus year, it's 100-year, right?
As you know, I'm obsessed with her. Absolutely obsessed. And I cannot wait for this movie. And I think Angelina Jolie is going to kill this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other thing. People were so upset. She don't look like her. And I hope she doesn't lip sync. And I hope she doesn't. Calm down. Calm down. Go watch the Zeffirelli documentary if you want that.
Right. Well, and here is Mr. Cole bringing in the fact that she does the more blackface. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Are we talking about the blackface?
No, we're not, and I appreciate that, because I hear you, but we just gonna go on to college forever. Listen, we have how many minutes until a new year?
Ooh, 8.
8, yes, 8 minutes. Sorry, that was 2022. Right, thank you. y'all already cutting up.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's leave that conversation in 2022, because I don't think that we are I think there's a clear divide, and I think that people will feel how they feel, and as long as we don't see it anymore, which I haven't seen it. But again, y'all have the right to call them out if it comes back, if it sneaks its way back, and we ain't talking about Italy. That's a whole other thing. But if it sneaks its way back in, then y'all have the right to protest.
Yeah, Italy is going to Italy.
Yes, exactly. This is a wonderful journey towards a new. Thank you. We will never agree on it. We won't. We won't at all. And there's so many wars happening all over the world.
Oh my gosh!
Prayers out to all the people in the Gaza Strip and Israel who are, those are wars
in the Congo and everywhere else that's not being talked about.
Right, and still in the Ukraine and Russia and all those people. And I know that affects our industry very deep, because we are an international art form. So all of those things affect us.
Because apparently the gas prices over there are slowing down production and getting sets to different countries and blah blah blah. It's the ripple effect that people don't really understand.
Mm-hmm. It's true. And all the people we lost this year, we got to shout them out.
Oh,
Yeah, baby. Yeah. I'm sorry, my champagne is on its way. So yeah.
yeah. Miss Bunbury's passing is still very fresh in my mind.
Yes, you completed a poetry book. So, well, send it to us. Let us hear. Let us purchase the poetry. Yes. Well, yes, Miss Bunbury, Miss Scotto, prima.
Madame Scotto.
Madam
Oh,
Scotto, Miss Zayani.
yeah.
You know, all the divas. You know, Andre Watts. I think someone did a beautiful tribute to him online today. I think it was Miss Nina Kennedy, who you if you don't know her, please follow her. Her parents are legacy, the gosh, how can I Jubilee. Fisk. Her family is Fisk. She's Fisk Elk. So
Hi, Corinthia.
after the year, into the new year, Russell. Once we get in the new year, yes. Andre Watts, what a pianist. Yes. Lisa Marie Presley died, remember, this year.
Was it this year?
I believe it was this year. Tina Turner, because when she was on Renaissance tour.
And we just lost Maurice Hines.
Yes, absolutely.
Matt, you know, the end of the year always shows out with deaths.
Always. Which is crazy. It's just like, you know, Harry Belafonte, yes, Queen, yes.
Yes. Oh,
there was icon, so many.
Legend.
James Jordan of Partier, you know, the blogger, the opera, the infamous in some instances, the blogger passed away.
Andre Brower.
Yes. Lisa Marie Presley. Yep, she died at the top of the year last year. This year.
Wow.
Almost last year. This year. Yep, Lisa Marie Presley. There was a whole thing about her estate with her mom and the money and all that kind of stuff. And with that, you know, that Elvis, you know, money. It's a whole thing. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens with Partier, with James passing away.
Is it still going at this moment?
I don't know. And yes, I do want to be messy, but I'm fighting it. Thank you, Russell.
Don't fight it. I always tell y'all I gotta let it out, or it gives me reflux if I don't let it out.
We're not laughing because Partier is still going.
Okay.
LaQuita said 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Oh, let me go pour something.
Yes, go pour something. I hate you right now. Yes. So many of the things. But love, you want to come say Happy New Year to the people? No? Okay. No. Turn on the countdown. We have 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Partier it was transitioned before his death. I didn't know that. 2 minutes. Listen, I know some of you went to church, but y'all be back. And Marlena, how could I forget about Marlena, my dear sweet Marlena, who changed so many people's lives. Marlena, if you don't know, Marlena was a very, very popular voice teacher for 40 decades, I think. 40 years. Sorry, 40 or 50 years. I can't remember now, but she was an institution in her own right. And shout out to Miss Malas and her family. Yes, the new year is coming in. I know some people went to church, but they'll come back on, so we'll stay on a little bit longer. I remember Combos was epic 2 years ago when we celebrated every time zone, and I was so exhausted by the time we got to the West Coast, and I was drinking the whole time, so I was definitely tipsy at the same time. Putting on the countdown. One more minute. One more minute. One more minute. It's about to be New Year. It's about to be 2024.
I made it, y'all.
2024.
Yay, 24.
Oh, Happy New Year. Is it the New Year yet? Is it the New Year yet? I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet.
My phone still says 59.
It still said 11:59. Is there a countdown? We're late. Man, I tell you. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Oh.
Well, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Wait a minute. Is it? Oh, this must be delayed. Oh, it's Happy New Year. Pop it, baby. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh, this must be delayed on CNN. But Happy New Year. Yes. May you all deepen your connection to community. Yes, Sam. Thank you. And we have got to get a convo in. We have to get, and we got to get some collaborations going. Cincinnati Song Festival. Sam, thank you for all your support. We definitely got to get some stuff going. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year. It's a beautiful musicians. Yes. Happy New Year.
I hear all the fireworks now in my neighborhood.
Yes. All right. I can finally. Come on, baby. Happy New Year. Ding, 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 ding. Love you. Yes.
Clink, clink, clink.
Yes, Sam. Definitely. Clink, clink, clink. Does anyone know the song? To win all equations. Yes. For sure. I got something for you too, Sam. Mm-hmm. Happy New Year. Russell, are you ready to come on? Are you ready to come on?
It's 12:01, Russell. You can be messy.
Since we're waiting for the Epstein list to come out any minute now.
Any minute. Well, if it's coming, is it coming from California though?
I don't know. We'll see. Happy New Year, you guys. Listen, Happy New Year. I want everyone to just have lots of health and wealth and dreams coming true. And getting over some of those Happy New Year. Some of those the adversity and the kind of the bumps in the road, that we get over them a little bit easier in 2024. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Play the Powerball. The Powerball is up, right? What is it? A 700?
Like 750 million, something like that. I'm telling y'all, if I hit, everybody's blocked.
This 800 million.
Oh no!
The collaboration where you were saying, "Oh yeah, that's fab. We're going to record it next year." That with Pacific. Well, this 2024 Pacifica. Yeah, well, you'll hear it. It's fantastic. 800 million. So, what are you doing if you win the 800 million?
Everybody's blocked first. My number is changed. My social media is down.
Hi, Cassandra. Listen,
hey, Cassandra.
I said what I would do. I would definitely change my number, but I would. Would you want people to know you won, though? Can you?
They have to say it. Like, you can't be secret about it, unfortunately. But I would keep it a secret for as long as I possibly could, because you're going to have all kinds of friends and cousins that you never had before.
Yeah,
and the kids are going to be coming out the woodwork.
Not all states. Not all states though. I wouldn't tell anybody that I won. I don't know if I would.
No.
I would send my very closest friends on an island. Like we would all be on an island somewhere and we would have a whole big party. That's how they would know. But otherwise,
Right. You'll get an envelope with a no return address.
yes, hell no, I'm showing up in a Halloween costume. Look at New York. New York is rocking Eve. Yes, not all the states will allow you to keep it. Listen. Okay, well then if I win, don't call me. Don't
Please
try to call
don't.
me. My number doesn't work anymore. But I'm calling you if you win. Trust. I'm be like knocking on the door, like I know you in there. I know you are in there. Happy New Year, Dan.
Listen, all these,
Matt, signing off. Have a fabulous New Year. I hope to see you more in the new year. This kid has a hell of a voice.
is that right?
He's next gen. His high C's all over he's next gen. He's got it. He's got next.
Come on now.
Yes, just like 23andMe. You just a mess. So, what are we talking about? I want to talk about not the new appointments, I want to talk about all these new opera jobs that are popping up.
Baby, the vacancies.
The vacancies in major places. Who's taking over?
Who's taking over and when and why? That's like the secret is like the Epstein list.
Listen, that's like the Epstein list. Happy New Year, John Christopher. You were on the New Year's we did 2 years ago. You came on. Happy New Year.
Hey, John Christopher.
Yes, the list of who's taking over. Happy New Year, baby. You don't want to come say Happy New Year.
I just did.
You didn't. We just saw your glass. You know you have fans. You and Penny have fans.
We're both indisposed.
Nothing disposed right now. Okay. No, I'm good for right now.
The president of the Overtone Fan Club Incorporated.
Exactly. I mean, Seattle, Chicago, Philly, Boston, Florida, Central City. I mean, the list goes on. Happy New Year, Makita.
Hey, Makita, how you doing, sis? Did New Orleans name somebody?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. That's coming too. Who knows? 2024 is gonna be the year. What do y'all want to see in 2024? I need to know. I need to know what. What are you wishing for? No resolutions. No resolutions. We don't do resolutions.
Nope.
Philly is turning up. The fireworks are.
Yeah, the fireworks here in Jersey are really outrageous right now.
Opera Mississippi is looking to hire someone to run the. I'm on the board and can't wait till.
In
Mississippi, right? Where
is that in Jackson?
Oh no. It's Anderson, and but they weren't allowed to drink on CNN. I don't care what nobody says. I miss Don Lemon. I miss
Don Lemon too. I really do. CNN ain't been the same since.
Not at all. Not at all.
I didn't know Opera Mississippi was looking for somebody. Wow.
Come on, Opera Mississippi is in Jackson, smaller company. That could be a thing for somebody to come and build that thing out. Oh yes.
Could I live in Jackson?
You'd have a fabulous house.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You'd have a fabulous house on a lake or something somewhere. Who's out there in New Orleans? Key West. Nah, we need Don Lemon. He liked the I know he liked the something that I put on his page, Don Lemon. I said, okay, Don. You know, me and Don, we go in and out because Don sometimes he toasts the line.
Yes.
He toasts the line. Did we get our we didn't get the QR code in there for well shit, it's too late now. I think all these companies can't appoint anyone. Why, Russell? Why? So if y'all missed earlier combos, we talked about Rihanna in the Super Bowl. Now the Usher's doing Super Bowl this year, right?
Yes. He's had
Usher's doing
a fabulous resurgence with this Vegas residency, which was very successful.
Exactly. So that'll be. I wonder is it going to be a so Def Super Bowl Atlanta, or is it going to? They have to wait for the big job to be taken first.
Oh wow, they drunk.
And congratulations to Atlanta Opera for being upgraded to Tier 1.
Okay, Atlanta Tier 1. Congratulations, Tomer and his team for being Tier
Tomer
1.
and team, they did that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. People are always going around saying, "Oh, woe is me, opera's dead, is dying." But then you read stories like what's happening in Atlanta. You read stories about, companies actually making profits off of their seasons. And it's like, well, it's not all doom and gloom. It can be better, of course. But
Absolutely. I don't think opera's dying at all. Anyone who says that is not paying attention, but especially with all of this, like there's so many major companies that will need new leadership. How can you say it's dying? Like it's ripe and ready for transformation is what it is. But dying, no way.
Yeah. But these positions are big ones that are vacant.
Absolutely.
And I think part of the problem why I think it's taking so long is that the pipeline is broken or not been established. There have been people who have been holding on for dear life for so long that there was no mentorship in how to hand the torch over and how to run these institutions. And so now people are being faced with, oh, well, you don't have enough experience to run it. Well, you didn't allow it.
Oh, right.
Everybody has to have their first time.
Absolutely. It's true.
At something, at singing a role, at running a company. Like somebody gave you your first shot.
Absolutely. As bad as 50. The old playbook is dying. We want the old playbook to die. But you know what? Well, for the most part, yes. But these are like big, huge jobs, but ripe and ready for transformation. Listen, I always say that if I didn't know I had a good solid decade left in my throat to sing all the things that I wanted to sing and do, I'd bow out and go try to go into admin because I feel like I have a vision, I have an idea. I ain't saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's, I'm gonna like change the whole industry, but I know what I have to say is important, but I still gotta sing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think that's very, very important. But I think that singers going into these positions need to be looked at seriously because we have direct connections to donors, we have direct connections to audiences, especially the singer of today. The singer of today is so connected to their audience. Yeah. And so tapped in. Not everybody, right? We're not saying that, but like I think that we need to be considered and taken seriously and not just these like advisor positions that aren't really, aren't really solid, but like, really in assisting our industry in transforming. So I have been drinking and I haven't drank anything and I'm talking.
Russell is out of hand. We were all virgins at one point. Russell.
Russell, we were all
I can't.
I'm still one. I'm married though. I'm married. I would hang it all up for the right. Russell is ready to make the leap into administration.
I got 5 more years. So
Kenny, what's wrong with your sound? Your sound changed.
It changed?
Yes. Russell Thomas is ready. So who is going to give that vibrant, incredibly gifted, visionary artist the opportunity to transform their talking too little and too late, pop off, Kiki. I tried, Sam. I tried. Russell is ready to risk it all. He's like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Now, this man is singing all the things all over the world, doing all the things, and he's saying he's ready to step into a leadership position and run a company. To have someone like Russell Thomas be the face of an industry, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. That's the kind of thing that gets other people interested in what we're doing. Other art forms interested. Let's go. What y'all doing? Perfect is the enemy of good. Keep going. It's true.
Yeah.
Perfect is boring.
It is boring. Absolutely positively boring.
Have they actually started putting singers? No, not in listen, the pipeline is what it is, right? The pipeline it's what it is. It needs support, it needs more, it needs all the things right now. So no one's ready to technically, not very, very, very few people are ready technically to step into leadership positions in major companies. But how do you even, we can't wait 5 years.
Yeah.
You can't wait. And there's so many things that are open. Somebody's got to do something.
It's so disheartening that, conductors and directors can have more than one job. But if a singer decides to have more than one job, it's a problem. There's so many directors that are running around, directing everywhere, running this company, There's so many conductors, music director here, principal conductor there, artistic director here. It's just like, are you serious? But when a singer wants to do something other than sing, it's a problem.
Right. It's true. Kenny, you need to maybe go out and come back because your sound.
Okay.
I don't know if everybody sees that. It's true. Singer, conductors, directors, and people will say, well, singers can't do this because if you're on a gig and something happens in your company and you are on stage and you got to do a thing, right? You got to make a decision. Yes, absolutely. But I think that we should be taken more seriously. We need mentors. We need people to pour into us seriously because the pipeline is not what it needs to be. The pipeline can and should be better for those people. They're not everybody. I ain't saying everybody because everybody ain't able. But where is the mentorship?
Is that better?
Yes. There you go.
Okay.
He said, Jim said it's an interesting point. Absolutely. And direct now you want to be starting something. You're starting.
I like to start trouble. Not as much as Russell,
Right.
but I'll be starting trouble.
Well, John Christopher said the directors are letting singers direct them. Well, I don't know if they're letting or that's a whole other conversation.
Ooh.
Composers could run companies too, because they probably have. But they're like by themselves for hours and hours and hours and hours. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I think singers need to be supported with teams around them to help them lead. But I definitely think singers are some of the best leaders and can help these companies for real, for real.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Absolutely. So what are y'all talking about? Solid, yes. What are y'all talking about? What are you hoping for 2024? What are you hoping for 2024, Katie? First of all, what do you have going on? Because you got a lot going on.
A lot going on. There's a new recording in the works. I can't talk about what it is just yet, but a new recording in the works. I'm trying to get as much down on recording for posterity while I can still sing beautiful pearl-shaped tones. Um, so I want to record as much as I can, but I have one recording that's already in the can, which is in the form of Damien Jeter's African American Requiem, which is already in the can waiting to be released. But I have another recording, solo recording, that I'm going into the studio very soon with. And then I learned, Jessie Norman said shortly before she passed away, she said, at this point in my life, I enjoy doing things that only concern me and a very small group of other people. She said, I love opera, and opera is great when you have a beautiful production, a great director, a conductor that knows the score, gorgeous costumes, and a great score to sing. She said, but when those elements are not in place, opera is rather tiresome.
Mm.
And I have begun to see that and agree with it, which is why I've expanded my chamber music wings, my recital wings, and my orchestral soloist wings, because that is what really makes me happy. That allows me to be super duper creative and collaborative in a way that opera doesn't necessarily allow. Now, I'm not done with opera completely, but those things make me happy. And so I've asked my team to fill my calendar with things like that for the majority of the year. And they have answered, and that's happening. So I'm excited about it.
That's fabulous. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you as your fan. I know you got, endless things. And Kenny always slays those recordings. So go out and buy those recordings, honey.
Listen, and recording is not easy. Let me tell you, it is not for the faint of heart. Those microphones pick up every imperfection that exists. And when you're on take 12, trying to get these two measures right, it's something else. I'm glad we have
that note is like, I'm packed up, I'm ready to go.
I'm done.
Yeah. Sam put something in. Pianist, conductors, artistic directors is a tired trope. I'm glad that you said that. Because I agree with that. Or the idea that anybody except a singer can lead. Singers are just meant to sing. We are not meant to have opinions. We are not meant to lead this industry. We just go from having a career to teaching. There are no other options that are supported. And listen, I'm not speaking from a place of what I know, right? Like, it's what I know. I'm not saying that everybody's situation is that thing, or that you have to completely give up the singing, completely give it up, do the thing in order to run an organization, which is fine. But like, just the idea of that you have to divorce yourself from being a singer, and you can't even talk about it in a prideful way. Right? Like, you can't even be like, yes, I did this, I accomplished, I did this thing, and now I'm doing this thing, and I want to serve the industry in this way. It's almost as if like singers can't speak openly about wanting to be in service outside of just giving your voice.
Yep.
Right? But everyone else can be of service because they're not upfront doing the thing. Right? And I think it is the mentality that needs to change.
Yeah. And it's interesting that some singers are allowed to have those options and opportunities, and some are not. It's interesting and sad and problematic all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have people who have multiple positions. It's like, why are we not spreading the wealth? Because when you have the same person making decisions in multiple places, then you get this sort of homogenized look, homogenized sound, homogenized aesthetic, homogenized taste level. And it's like, that's not what art is about. Spread the wealth, spread the opportunity, open the pipeline, let it flow, let it flow.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the people who are in the comments,
And
it's
yes,
hard.
like, exactly, Russell. They allow people with no musical ability at all make decisions about music, make decisions about singing, make decisions about what gets produced. It's like, but this is not your ministry. You didn't go to school for this. You didn't, you may be a fan of music, but understanding the ins and outs of what makes a great production, what makes a great voice, what makes, a great artist, only what people tell you. You know only what the industry has decided is worthy enough for you to know.
It's true. Yeah, Sam said something about like however, I wonder how many people not in that mold, even though they're hat in a ring. And you know what? I agree with that. I think, and I did mention that to a general director who had asked me for a name, because of course people come to me like, who, oh, we need a black name. I'm gonna keep it real. And I said, there are a lot of people out there who don't even know, they're not even thought or put the concept in their mind that they can lead, that they would even want to lead, or they would even be given the opportunity to do so. Right? So people don't even consider it and they go, okay, well, I'm settling for this. When
Yeah.
you know that the industry should have more options in the pipeline. Right. So many of our pipelines in our industry are broken, but that's a whole other conversation. But you're right, Sam. Absolutely. There are people it's like you have to expand and broaden your mind, right? You have to believe that it is for you and what you want in order to go after, because they ain't gonna come looking for you. That's for sure. They ain't looking for you. You just gotta show up.
Yep.
The problems of singers are quite simple. Exactly. We are if we just keep practicing harder, keep doing the thing more, it will come to you. No, you have to go get it. It ain't coming to you. They're not knocking on your door looking for you. We know that. I'm a cheers to that. And Beverly Sills had a career, and she was a white woman. Like, it's different. It's different. We ain't talking about. It's not 2023. Yeah.
And she was a big star and beloved by especially American audiences. And so people trusted her and people were surrounded her with support.
I hear you, Tiffany, and I'm not saying that for everybody. I ain't talking to everybody, and I'm not saying everybody should go out and do the thing. It's not meant for everybody, but there are some people who are leaders, singers who are leaders. It's not just certain creatives who are leaders, So I have to respectfully disagree. I'm not talking to everyone. That's for sure. You talked about this earlier when the same people at the conservatories did you read that? This is Aquita. When the
What'd
same
she
people,
say?
Laquita says, so you all talked about this earlier when the same people at conservatories directing, and then they direct shows outside of other organizations, directors choose the same people that they work with at the schools 8 times out of 10. The singer is not a person of color. The same people are chosen. Gatekeeping.
Yeah, gatekeeping has unfortunately not lessened or ceased. I think it's one of the natures of the beast that's going to be a hard thing to dismantle, because gatekeeping comes in so many different forms. People hire who they're comfortable with. People who hire who they see every day. People hire who managers tell them to hire. Singers come in package deals from an agency, and then the company is comfortable with that agent or that agency. And so then it becomes homogenized with those singers only. And so the gates are everywhere, honey. They're everywhere.
Yes, absolutely. And we just have to keep showing up. We have to keep showing up. We have to keep bursting down those doors that we know are there. Many of us have already been doing that. And some people are exhausted. I'm not saying that it's for everybody. I'm not saying advocacy is for everyone, activism is for everyone, moving needles is for everyone. It's exhausting, and you still have to sing well. You still have to do all the things. You have to check all the boxes, right? But some people are charged to show up every single time. How do we know? How do they know that you even have the desire, have the passion if you don't speak about it and you don't show up? The gates are everywhere. Like, yes, Jasmine, the gates are everywhere. Like, it is what it is, you know? But you have to show up and you have to speak about what you want. You have to ask for what you want. Because someone will say to you, I didn't even know you wanted to do that. I didn't even know that was your passion because you didn't speak about it. You didn't put it out loud. You didn't put it in the forefront. Now, if they don't give it to you and you spoke about it, that's a different conversation. But for someone to not know that that's your desire and that's your passion, and to ignore it is also another conversation, right? You know, but you have to keep showing up and push and breaking down those doors. And you know, when I was a younger singer, I used to be so hard on older singers and how like people would have their careers and they would disappear. Or people wouldn't stay around. They would sing their show and then they would leave. I understand now on the side. I want to do my job. And I want
Get
to
my
go
check.
home. Get my check and go home, you know? And they had less agency than we even have in this moment right now, you know? I get it. I get it. I get it. But for me, I would be bored and I like to fight and I like to stir the
Yeah.
pot for the good. And everybody I hang around with is the same way. And you know, we all given our lives to this industry to we want to see it better. The ones that Nelly and Ashanti, I think they're having a baby.
I agree with you. Yeah, they are having a baby. Is he
Yeah.
gonna marry her? Anyway, that's another topic. I agree, Russell. I think there are people who are so afraid. Like when you ask for a seat at the table, it's not that I want to uproot you from your seat. I just want you to make room so I can sit down and then so that you can hear and understand and implement what I have to offer. It's not me sitting at the table is not to bump you from the table. And so many people are so fragile about that.
Mhm. You hear that? Mr. Cole said, I would love to do arts administration. Speaking. Listen, this is a space where a lot of people show up in convos. They're quiet, but they show up. People get stuff around here. And on Kenny's platform too. So
Listen, I've been getting people jobs for years.
yes. Yes. Kenny is one of the first people who had his own company and was always putting people's names in rooms. Mm-hmm.
She all up on it.
Child, combos are still going on. 9:30. Yes, we started at 9:30 and we still going on. Rusty, to your point, because not everybody's going out and party. We used to go out and party, babe, didn't we?
Yeah, oh yeah, when we lived in Cali.
Yeah, we used to go out and party, but now we stay at home like old people and get online. But Rusty, your point about stepping on toes, the best thing to surround themselves with those who are smart. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey says that. She said, I put people around me who knew.
And I think I shared that story with you, Karen, in San Francisco. When we were doing Omar, Rhiannon Giddens came and spoke to the cast and to the company and crew and everybody. And she said, this, of course, is my first opera. I didn't know what I was doing when I accepted. She said, part of my genius is surrounding myself with people who know more about what I want to do than I do. And she said, and that's why I called Michael Abels to orchestrate this score, because he knows how to do it. And now they have a Pulitzer.
Okay. Okay.
She said, that's my genius. She said, I know who to hire around me to get it done.
There you go. And Michael Abels, somebody needs to give him an opera. Somebody please hire Michael Abels to compose an opera. Because the orchestration for Omar, everything.
Gorgeous.
Everything. Kenny, Tiff said you got her the job.
Listen, that's what it's about, right? So when my friend John Fulton was in that position, he wrote to me and said, hey, I'm leaving. Who do you know would be a great fit for this job? They need to know how to do X, Y, and Z. And I said, you need to call Dr. Tiffany Renee Jackson, point blank in the period.
There you go. That's how things get done.
And now she's there and doing wonderful things. But see, it's not about me tooting my horn about that, because listen, she has done the work. She got 50 degrees behind her name and all the letters and abbreviations behind her name that I don't have. You know, when he said he was leaving, people ask me, I've gotten offered 3 teaching positions without applying for them. Without applying for them. That's just not where I want to be right now. But I know people who are great at that. I could have said, oh, John, I'll take that job. But it wasn't for me. When he decided, I said, I know who the right person is for this job. And she got it.
There you go. And that's how advocacy works.
She deserves it. She's earned it. She's put in that work. And those kids are going to be better for it.
It's true. Yeah, you said, yeah, Michael Abels should be. He absolutely should. I don't care what his experience was the last time. Like, he should. We need him.
Yep. And he was fired up too. He came to the final dress rehearsal, and as soon as the curtain went down on us, he ran down to that pit and he was working with the conductor and that orchestra on every fine detail of that song. Talking to each instrumentalist that had a part that needed to be brought out or more subdued or more present. He was all over that rehearsal on fire.
There you go. We need him. That's when a leader goes in and says, okay, this person has had this experience. This person has done this. How can we? If somebody had asked earlier, do people ask you what you want to do? No. Maybe some people do. How artists are asked what they want to do. Maybe they do. I don't know. Well, look who's here. Hi, Sam.
Let's go.
How are you, Sam? This is Sam. Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Sam. I've just been lurking for the past 2.5 hours.
You've not been lurking. Who are you?
I'm a pianist and artistic director. The very person I've been railing against for the past hour.
Oh my God! Yes,
I oversee some fair art song recitals in Cincinnati every year. That's all.
Nice.
Yes.
Happy New Year to you both.
Happy New Year,
You as well.
Sam.
I gotta say, I have like PTSD / like flashbacks coming into the stream. What is this called? StreamYard?
Yeah, StreamYard. Uh-huh.
Yeah. This was
Total
all
PTSD.
2020 and 2021.
Shh. Right? Those of us who were like cranking it out for
Yeah.
a year and a half, man.
Every week for a year and a half without fail.
So talk to us, Sam. Talk to us.
Well, I don't know. Listen, you light me up with the whole leadership in the arts thing, and that mold that exists, and for what, and for why, other than it is what it had been for decades and centuries or whatever. So I don't know what that's about, but I think there's a combination on both sides that needs to happen, right? People need to feel empowered to throw their hats into the ring and to simply take up space in that way and believe that they deserve a seat at that table and should go for it. And at the same time, whoever's already at that table of leadership needs to broaden their horizons and expand their minds about who has the ability and who is qualified and who has the knowledge, whatever, all that BS, you know? There's no inherent reason why, like I was saying in the comments, why the pianists to conductors are the people that belong on that path to leadership ultimately. There's no reason.
Yeah.
And I'm a pianist, and I'm not a conductor. I'm a pianist. But the organization that I lead is one that I started myself. So I didn't apply for it. I wasn't handed it. And so in that vein, anybody could do that. You know, I paid the Ohio Secretary of State $25 to register a business. Kenny, at the beginning of the live stream, you were talking about Black becoming a 501c3. That's the exact process we went through. Anybody can do that. You know, and then it's community building beyond that. To build an audience, to gain a network of venues. I mean, you have to think logistically and administratively. That you need. But those set of skills doesn't belong to, you know, just pianists and conductors. Why the fuck is that the thing? You know?
Right, exactly. So this is the thing. It's like, do you build it yourself or do you go after?
Well, listen, I mean, in the changing landscape of classical music and the funding models that are changing and the generational shifts that are happening, I foresee a lot more directionality going towards smaller scale productions, local and regionally based in terms of audience building, you know. Hopefully fees and stuff don't consistently go down, but I think we're going to see a return to locally, like an emphasis on local and community based events, whereas we've been sort of trying to blow up this national and international profile thing, right, for companies. That's my hot take. I just see it going in that way as funding models change basically. Yeah. I mean, what's your experience, Karen? You were hanging out in Portland and
I'm still there. I still do my artist situation there. And I think that for Portland, because of the culture there, it's just difficult as the culture shifts, the culture moves, as we have so many issues, a lot of the people in America are facing crime, the fentanyl issue, like all of those things bleed into the arts, right? It bleeds into the idea like people don't want to come downtown anymore in certain situations, right? How do we get the audiences? So if the older audiences don't want to come in, how do we create new audiences that are not afraid to come into town, right? But I do believe, for me, and everyone who knows me and all my friends who know me know that I am like, if you don't see it, you build it. You know, and I don't know where that came from, because I was trained. I went to Curtis. I went to San Francisco for my young artists. You know, like I started in a very traditional track. And then all of a sudden, and maybe because I felt like I was kept out of certain situations, like once I got to a certain level, that I wasn't able to like push past certain things. I was like, well, if they're not going to let me in those spaces, certain spaces, because I didn't do it the way they wanted me to do it, then I'm going to like pivot. Right. And so I think even before I knew I was doing the thing, I was doing the thing. Right. And so then pandemic happens, and then all the things that I was doing low key secret now give me a space to do all of the things, you know, all the things on a bigger platform. So I'm like, you definitely like take it over, do the thing. Like if you don't see it, build it. Like, you know, all of those things are very different models than I was trained in. But just like pandemic, like it was the artists that kept the industry in a certain level, a certain, you know, in the forefront. It wasn't necessarily people deciding in a boardroom in a traditional space where people have meetings about what we're going to do next season or what we're going to do, you know, how we're going to fundraise. Like those places were closed.
Yeah.
Right. So it was you and your organization and Kenny and his platform that he created, Black Opera Live, and myself and so many other people. And then artists expanded themselves beyond what they were hired to do and trained to do. And then again, like that model should be supported by companies, right? Like that's the idea you would want. But it's not in this time. It's like now we're shifting back to business as usual. And it's like, no. We need to continue to build upon what we built in the pivot.
Yeah. I agree. 100%. I think I'm seeing legacy companies do smaller scale, smaller production, smaller budget stuff. And if you think about the overlap with people who have just started their own company in the past 10 years, that's the same kind of stuff that they're doing. And so if you can get your foot in the door in that way with your own company, or joining up with a company that has started in that way, instead of joining sort of a legacy company that's in its own right pivoting, and they're, you know, that's a whole other set of problems in and of itself for them that they're dealing with. They're the yachts and the super cruisers of the industry. I, described Cincinnati Song Initiative and other organizations like us during the pandemic. We were the speedboats, and not by any virtue, just by our fundamental nature of what we are and how we started as sort of grassroots organizations that have been started in the past 10 years and don't have these sort of traditional funding models. And we're at the behest of these fancy donors and board members and all that stuff like that. I mean, it's a whole nother game. And it's artist driven. It truly is. Now we're building relationships and we're building a donor base, but it was started and foundationalized in a totally different way. And I see projects being produced by legacy companies in the same way that it's done in the same way that organizations like ours are done, but they're having to navigate how to go about that kind of thing. It's all we do, you know?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's well, it's not a lot. It's just it needs to just be focused. But artist driven,
Mhm.
artist driven. I mean, listen, I talk about, and I know Kenny, you know, even in our platform, like I saw other artists get a lot of support for their platforms from companies. Nobody came to me and said, "How can we support Convos?" And we were transformational. I was a single woman show doing this thing here, right? Like no one has still come and said, "Hey." You know, I mean, I still do talks and everything, and people got to see me in whatever, you know, the light, but no company has said, we want to support you in what you're doing.
Missed
Right?
opportunity.
Missed opportunity. Now, other artists can say they, whatever support that they got or whatever. And I never asked either. I never asked, but I didn't, but you
You
know,
shouldn't have to ask. I mean,
right. But again, even with Kenny, when he's in Opera News, a full spread thing in Opera News for Black Opera Live. What he did for Black artists during the pandemic was an unseen artist. He should have a company say, "Hey, can you come and support the thing?" Right? But we didn't have that. Again, it's a missed opportunity, and it is that like this is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, when push comes to shove, the way of thinking isn't changing in enough ways and in the right ways.
Yeah.
And if we're inviting the old guard or the legacy companies to invite their way of thinking, to change their way of thinking, and they're just not, then you know something's got to give, and we need to start pivoting and moving in different directions.
Yeah.
I mean, it all comes down to whether we choose to believe that there is only one source of truth and one avenue forward in this industry. And you know, I'm straight up just spouting here when I say this stuff because I have no answers, but what I do know is that we don't have to be bamboozled into just, you know, following blindly.
Yeah, be true. No, that's not the way.
You
What do
know?
you guys have going on in Cincinnati?
Well, Will Liverman and Myra Huang are performing on January 14th, a concert. And we have, I mean, we just do all sorts of interesting programs that are themed and tied to the community, and we're partnering with the Cincinnati Zoo in April for an Earth Day concert. I mean, it's just important to us that our programming meets the moment that we're living in, and or it speaks to something that's going on in our community here in Cincinnati, or it's speaking to a social cultural issue that's going on. I mean, it's just got to like viscerally address a need and answer a question, or to at least tackle a question that's going on. For us at CSI, it's important that the classical music genre reflects current life so that it doesn't appear stale or out of touch, right? I think plenty of organizations do that. It's just a matter of how obvious they make it to their audience, right? Or if they're held at the behest of certain people that just want to see another Così fan tutte for the social clout of it all. Right?
Absolutely.
So it's all on a spectrum.
Wasn't it Pittsburgh Opera that had those very wealthy donors that gave them gazillions of dollars and said this money is only to be used to produce operas written after 1950 or before 1950? Like that was the rule to get the millions of dollars. Is that
A restricted gift.
Earmarked? Oh, was it 10 million, 15 million, or more?
I don't know about that, but that sounds real good.
Okay. Where do I sign up?
Yeah, I'll take that restricted gift.
Yeah. But I do remember that, Kenny. I do remember that. And it's like, wait a minute. I mean, may have been just intentional. Like, we don't want these new works. It could be seen as two ways, right? They're all the things that are sitting on the shelf collecting dust that are really fantastic pieces that need to be put out front. Or we don't want all this new stuff. We're putting our money. It can be seen in both ways.
it looked like I want my Bohemian Traviata and Carmen, and here's the money to do it.
Listen, there's some donors and some very prominent companies that are like, you want to keep doing Tosca, baby? We're gonna keep cutting the check.
Right.
Don't bring that. Don't bring that other stuff here. We don't want no parts of it.
And so I think we also need to start going after people who don't care about that kind of thing. You know, you've got to tap into the other money. You got to tap into the other audiences who don't care about, you know, petticoats and powdered wigs.
And know nothing about it.
Correct.
They were never raised on that.
Right.
I'm 32. Most of my people of my age range don't, unless they were trained in the classical arts. You know, it's not something that you grew up around, right? At this point. So
Truly.
the onus is getting stronger and stronger to you have to have a thread to reach an audience, at least, you know, if you want to maintain an audience beyond the generation that's dying out, right? And so that's either you attach a concert or a performance experience to a social cultural event that people will quickly tie into in their head, or you have to sort of like bring them along in this non-stuffy, non-elitist sort of way. I mean, we classical musicians are going to be up against a wall. I toe this fine line between we don't need to apologize for being classical musicians, combined with we more and more we have to work actively to remove this from its elitist shelf, right? Socially, economically, racially, all the history, all the BS that comes with classical music in the past. It just won't go on in this way as it has been, right? People just don't know about it. It's that simple. Like, people aren't being educated about it, and people won't know about it. It's that simple. So, you know, you're either gonna, you know, go along with it, or you're gonna. That's why I'm a little bit of sort of like, what's the evolutionary, what's the scientific, when the last man standing thing sort of thing about you know, about you swim or you go extinct or whatever, you know. You know, we're there. I'm kind of like, you know, it's classical music isn't going to go away. It's just going to change the way it looks, and the people that can't swim along with it are going to, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So we have 4 minutes until we celebrate New Year's in Central. Excuse me. And I don't think I have it in me to do 2 more New Year's. So we're going to celebrate New Year's in Central, and then we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up. But you know what? It just seems to me that we need to have these, we need to go back to this. You know, since David Lomeli said to me, oh, I wish you all were doing all of the things that you all did during pandemic. So I charge all of us who were doing this kind of stuff, you know, these live and performances. So maybe just come back in 2024, do some of these things and have some of these conversations. It seems to me that we need to keep talking, and people need to keep listening, and maybe being in the room, but not making comments, right? Because we know that people come to these spaces and they do that, and you know, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sam, I'm going to call you this week.
It would be my honor.
Okay.
Not me just butting in here. Thank you for letting me in.
I'm glad you did, because people need to know what you're doing and know your organization.
Well, I just have been admiring from afar for all these years, and I was so glad to see that you were doing something tonight. And
yes,
you know, you roped me in when you went political. Like, you got me off the sidelines.
That was Kenny. I was waiting for Lemmy to come on. I'm sure Lemmy would have been Lemmy and Kenny would have been in, but
I know we could have gotten into it, but
yes.
like,
But obviously, we know 2024 is going to be a vibrant year. So I suspect that we might all be in this space again.
I sure hope so.
Very, very shortly. Now that we know you're into politics.
Oh yeah, I'm a perennial optimist. It's all about how we look at things and how we proceed to move forward.
Okay.
As a team, team.
That's it.
Mhm.
That's it.
And
Thank
artist driven.
Artist driven.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sam, and Happy New Year.
Thank you guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye. We got 1 minute. Is there anything you want to talk about? I am ready to go to bed. We have talked about all the hot topics that I had. I had all these hot topics on my list. And we have talked about all of them.
Wow.
We've been on here 3.5 hours. I think the last one was like 4 or close to 5 in 2021.
Ooh, but see, that was when we were still all held inside.
Exactly. Jim, Happy New Year. Thank you for hanging in with us. Yeah, Cassandra's like, I'm over here. I know the West Coast.
Oh, Cassandra. I miss the West
Coast.
I miss it so much.
I don't think I have it in me, Cassandra.
Thank you, Jim. You're the best.
Jim is the best. Thank you.
I miss
Happy New Year, Central.
Happy New Year, Central Time. Happy New Year, Central.
Happy New Year, Texas, and New Orleans, and
not Texas.
And all of you all. Thank you for tuning. Yes, Russell. Happy. Oh, you didn't go away. I thought you went away. Happy New Year's. Oh, we miss you too, Cassandra. Thank you.
Oh, that's right, Russell. You're in Houston, right?
That's right. Russell's in Houston. Happy New Year. Doing Parsifal, honey. Lemmy! Where you at, Lemmy?
Come on, Councilman Pulliam.
Karen looks like she read. Okay, Russell, I'm not feeling well. As we've heard, you know, if you can hear it. Are you coming on? If y'all come on.
Come on, Petty and Pettier.
Petty. I might be able to pull another hour out.
Mr. Petty and Sir Petty.
And I will let y'all take over. I'm eating popcorn. My boo. Lemmy, Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
I want another fork full of my macaroni and cheese. That thing was good.
Yes. All right. I'm logged off. Kenny look like he ready to go to bed anyway. If y'all not coming on.
I got all these recitals to memorize, child.
Ooh, I don't even talk about it because I can't even.
Damian Jeter's trying to kill me with his.
Well, that's what he does.
Trying to kill me.
Yes.
It's in the Portland Art Museum, and it's around. It's built on all these Black artists, so it's right up my alley. But he done put the whole kitchen sink in this program.
Listen, don't even start with them. Yeah, I know. I thought Miss Penny was gonna come down, but she's upstairs, honey. Miss Penny. Rudy came down.
Yes, Tiff. I didn't fix a plate. I just been using a fork and going in there and just taking a little bite every now and then. It's
what
good.
y'all doing tomorrow? What y'all doing tomorrow? Look who it is. Look who it is.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Mark.
Hey, Dave. Happy New Year from Central Time.
Mm-hmm. My uncle was on here, said Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
on here. My Uncle Keith. Oh, shameless plug. Still booking live performances of one. Listen, that's what we do, Dave. We do. That's what.
So am I, Russell. What you talking about?
Russell's a little knee. Does that mean that might get in the way of your?
That mouth gonna be more slick than it already is. Is that what you're saying?
Y'all foolish. Y'all are foolish. Thank you all for tuning in. I can tell the kids are out and about this year.
Out in the streets.
Out on the streets. I didn't want to go out this year. There's always next year.
The weather's kind of dreary here in New York. It's just
Is
been,
it?
and plus, listen, I've experienced the ball drop one time when I was in school, and I don't ever need to do that again. Like ever, never.
Mm.
It's an awful experience.
You gotta be out there all day and you can't go to the bathroom. Anyway.
Can't go to the bathroom. They got all the streets blocked off. People are drunk. People are dumb. Oh,
Yeah, I know. Anyway, Happy New Year to everybody.
yes, everyone.
I hope to see you all more on this platform and live and performances and doing your thing and supporting. 2024, buckle up. Be prepared for anything. Be prepared for that list to come out. We might have to hop on for another one when that list comes out. The drama, the political drama of 2024. You all be blessed, and I will see y'all more in the new year. I do miss combos, or this platform where we can, and of course, Kenny and I always vibe so well together. Maybe we need to create our own a new show, Kenny.
Maybe a new show, maybe an in-person show. Maybe do a couple episodes in person.
Come on, opera companies, theaters, whatever. We can
Right.
work on it.
They're already mad with our individual platforms. If we got one together, child.
Cutting up. They're like, oh God, what are they gonna say? Anyway, we love y'all. Happy New Year.
Love ya. Feel better,
Love
honey.
ya.
All
Bye.
right.
Share the stream. Bye. Good night.